Hey, welcome to East Alabama High School Football Media Days. We're coming to you live here from the bottling plant and Coca-Cola Event Center. Is that right?
The Event Center, Coca-Cola Event Center,
right.
Downtown Opelika. It's a beautiful facility, and this is our second year here.
Yes. And first up today will be Coach Roddy Beck with AISA. He's the athletic director with AISA, and on deck will be Smith Station and Coach Mike Glisson. And we're getting ready to introduce him now. Mark's getting up on the stage, and Roddy Beck. And
we have something that's interesting this year. We have two private schools that have not been here before, and both of them are 8-man football.
Southern Prep is 8-man, but they will play 11-man.
Yeah, they will.
According to what it calls for.
and the Oaks school is also 8-man. They're part of AISA.
Okay.
And we're glad to have them here. This is the biggest year yet. We've got 20 schools here this week.
Yeah. Well, I've known Coach Bell for a number of years. He coached at Notasulga, and he's been at Southern Prep for 3 or 4 years now, coaching football and the 8-man program. And he's part of our morning show, but this will be our first time to have him at Media Days.
Yeah. And we also have, after Smith Station, we have Reeltown and Russell County with a new head coach and facilities that are just going wild there.
Yeah, they're turf. I want to say a jumbotron and maybe a new field house.
Everything except a new press box.
Hey, Mike.
I think when I did games there with D. Mark, we did them from the stands.
Yeah.
Of course, we did it from the stands at a lot of venues.
And we want to mention that we're sponsored by the Orthopedic Clinic and 9:10 a.m., 13:10 a.m. The Game, iHeartRadio, and we're going to go to the podium to D. Mark Mitchell.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to iHeart Media, iHeartRadio, Fox Sports The Game High School Media Days, presented by the Orthopedic Clinic. Day 2 of our Media Days. We're glad to have everybody here, certainly our media, and I think we've got 10 schools scheduled today. Day 1 went off yesterday with perfection, I would say, as it possibly could be, and we appreciate everybody for being here yesterday. I want to take a minute to thank the Orthopedic Clinic. We also want to thank Coca-Cola for furnishing our drinks today. We want to thank Jeff Coat Trent Funeral Home, also Opelika Power Services. They help keep our power on in here. And we also want to thank Frederick Dean Funeral Home. We have some fine sponsors locally that make this event possible, and we certainly appreciate Terry and John and the wonderful doctors at the Orthopedic Clinic for sponsoring high school football in East Alabama. They do a wonderful job supporting all our schools, and certainly with their Saturday morning clinic, where if you're injured, you can go by there. You don't just have to play football, but if you're injured, they have a Saturday morning clinic, and we certainly appreciate the Orthopedic Clinic. Yesterday, we started our media days with the AHS Executive Director, Alvin Briggs. This morning, we're going to turn to the AISA, the Alabama Independent Schools Association. For those of you that don't know, there are 2 football associations in Alabama, the AISA and the AHSAA. Both work hand in hand together, as you'll hear Coach Briggs and Coach Beck mention. But it is my pleasure this morning to introduce the AISA Athletic Director. He's been a longtime friend of mine and my family. Played golf with my dad, for my late father, for 21 years. He's a great guy. The Athletic Director for the AISA, Mr. Roddy Beck. Let's welcome him. Roddy, good morning.
Thank you, D. Mark, and thank you, Van and iHeartRadio, for hosting this event. It's a great venue, the bottling plant here, and we thank Coca-Cola for that as well. The Orthopedic Clinic and all of our sponsors. Orthopedic Clinic has been very special to me as a coach in the past, and also I have used their services the older I get. Dr. Fraser Jones at one time was my team doctor. Terry Rosenthal, I remember meeting him back in the early to mid 90s, covering our school when I was at Springwood back then, and he's moved on up the chain. I think John has taken over his place now by the Orthopedic Clinic. We thank them for what they do, and they're in it for our student athletes as well, and we do appreciate that, as well as all the other sponsors. Just a little update, we're with the AISA, we're preparing for our fall sports at this time. Our football, volleyball, and cross country will be kicking up. Volleyball practice has just started. Football and cross country will be allowed to get started with practice tomorrow. Football will have 2 days they can begin in with shorts and helmets only tomorrow and Friday. But everyone will be back on the same page with official practices for everyone beginning on Monday due to contact regulations and so forth, so everyone will be on the same page, and they'll basically start over with 2 days of shorts and helmets and move into shoulder pads on Wednesday and Thursday, and would be able to have contact on Friday. Alabama High School and AISA follow the same contact information for our student athletes in the football program. And just rewinding a little bit on last year, all I can say is we made it. It was unbelievable, the things that our student athletes and administrators and schools had to go through. But we, along the way, we hit a few bumps in the road, but we made it and crowned a champion in all of our sports, beginning with our cross country, our volleyball, football, basketball, tennis, track, soccer, golf, softball, and baseball. That was, it was a great moment just watching those young student athletes when you present them that state championship trophy. You could see the smiles on their faces. Again, you had tears from the ones who didn't, but it beats what could have happened. We could have not had a season like we did the spring before, and it was just great to see like I said, the smiles and the happiness on our coaches and student athletes' faces after we did crown a state champion last year. The toughest thing on me during the year, and a lot of you who know me, when you ask me a question, I love to give you an answer. Last year, the most words is 3 words: I don't know. And again, I don't know if anybody knew. I got a question, I'd get a question from the coach, from administrator, headmaster, principal, and it would just kill me to have to say, I don't know. And we'll let you know as soon as we know. And, the way things are going today, everything's ramping up a little bit, but we're planning on going as normal at this time. We will listen to the CDC, Dr. Harris and the Alabama Department of Health. We'll follow those guidelines, and we'll get that information to our school. Obviously, if Governor Ivey has a mandate, we will follow that as well. We do have a athletic council meeting that I have to get back to this morning at 10:30 in Montgomery, and we're going to be discussing that with our council, and if there are any changes, we'll get that information out to our schools and to the media as soon as possible. Hopefully, we will continue to keep moving forward. The good thing about this is we've gone through this, and hopefully it will not be as severe as it was before if we do have to make any changes. But I think the positive you take out of this is we have made it before, and hopefully we'll be able to make this again, because it's like I said, it was devastating to those student athletes in the spring of the year before that did not get to finish their high school career with the athletic programs. A little bit about us as far as our football. We have 8 teams per class that makes the playoffs each year. We have 3 rounds, and we'll crown a state champion in 1A, Class 2A, and Class 3A. We have had a great relationship with Troy University. Our triple header championship has been at Troy since 2000, with the exception of last year. We moved it to Crampton Bowl last year due to some NCAA recommendations or guidelines as far as locker rooms. Troy had to move their schedule around a little bit, and they ended up playing a Saturday game, and we were scheduled to play on Friday, and locker rooms have to have 48 hours to be sanitized and cleared. So we were able to work it out with Montgomery Crampton Bowl and have our games there, championship games there last year. Again, end of this past June, we met with Troy once again. They do have a home game on Saturday with App State. So we spoke with them, and we had to confirm with the city of Montgomery that we'd be able to move our championship once again to Montgomery. So our state championship triple header will be at Crampton Bowl November 19th, once again with our 1A beginning at noon, 2A at 3:30, and our 3A will conclude the day at 7 p.m. At Crampton Bowl this year. And the way you can always figure out AISA, I get this from media or some outlet that may ask, when is your championship? The easiest way for me to explain how our championship every year will be, you start the Friday before Thanksgiving week and you count back 13 weeks. That's when the AISA regular season will begin, because we play our championship, that's 3 rounds, and then 10 regular season games. You count back, and we'll begin our play every year at that time. But we're looking forward to another great year, a great fall to begin with our cross country, our volleyball, and football. And at this time, I'll open it up for any questions that I may can answer. Excuse me.
Good morning, Jack Patterson with WRBL. So you talked a little bit about the move of the state championship to Montgomery again. Is it just the temporary thing just because of the scheduling for Troy, or, is it more of a rotation that you guys are looking for? Which way is it going to go for you guys, not only this year but in the future?
At this time, it's just a move due to, the COVID situation we're dealing with. I mentioned earlier to Mr. Sasser over there that Troy they have been good to us. We have been there since 2000. It's been great to work with them. We know each other. All we have to do is pretty much show up, and the event kind of runs itself. But we'll be looking at that down the road with all of our events. Pretty much that Montgomery hosts. Our contract runs out this year. So we'll be looking at different venues and so forth from here on out. But at this time, our plan is to be back at Troy once again. But Crampton Bowl, we work with Murray Wilson and his staff there. Our All-Star game is there. So it was pretty much last year just like we were at Troy. We started, we finished. It was unbelievable. Murray does a great job with his staff there. They have 4 locker rooms where we can rotate in and out. But to answer your question, I know I went around the world to try to get to that question. At this point in time, our plans are to be back at Troy.
Roddy, Jordan Hill with Opelika Auburn News. You kind of hit on, being vigilant as far as the upcoming season with coronavirus. What were the lessons you took away from how the AISA handled things last year, if in fact you guys have to make some changes going into this year?
Well, Jordan, and sometimes I don't have a lot of patience, and sometimes I don't like to be flexible. As I mentioned a little earlier, I hate to give that answer. I don't know. But I think it worked out well for me personally and for our schools that, you do not have to make a split decision very quickly. So for me personally, I think my patience got better. There was no need for me to have a fit because I could not give an answer at this time, and you were able to think it through. Listen to all the recommendations before you make a decision there, and I think that has helped me from that point on to, try to be, I guess, a little more to be able to look at the situation before you just make a hasty decision. And again, we're in it for the student athletes, and that's you may not please everybody, which you're not. If you're in it to please everybody, you're in it for the wrong reason. And we were looking at it to please our student athletes and what were best for them, their health and safety overall.
Roddy, what's the largest school right now in the ASA competing in athletics? And is there a point to where a school gets too big to, say, compete in the ASA where you may encourage them to go maybe the AHSAA route?
We're not going to urge them to go to go anywhere, but athletically, I would have to say at the top right now, Glenwood, Lee Scott, they're a couple that are at the top of the list now. At one time, Faith Academy was a member of our association. They were well above and beyond as far as numbers go. But we would not encourage that. I mean, our football, we're a little different as far as our classification goes. We count only boys for football. We count only girls for volleyball. And the other sports, we count boys and girls. So a lot of times it kind of evens itself out. But no, we don't want to turn anyone away. We'll make it work. And I'm glad you brought that up. We do have 77 member schools in the AISA with only 42 or 43 that play athletics. But we do have 77 members at this time.
Roddy, with the AHSAA, they're adding girls flag football for the fall, and obviously they have some help with Atlanta Falcons, Arthur Blank. Is there any consideration or even discussion about potentially doing that down the line in AISA?
It has been discussed, Jordan, and I'll piggyback a little bit off of Van's question there, from the higher end down to the lower end now. We would love to provide another sport for our females, but at this time, a lot of our schools with the numbers are so small, and again, I know in small schools you want them to play all sports, but that being a fall sport, you're cutting into your volleyball program, your cross-country program, and your cheerleaders. And we do not have many schools that would be able to do that. We have discussed it. I'm not saying it would not be a sport in the future, but at this time, it's on the back burner.
I called a little bit earlier this morning. You were talking about the shortage in referees. What
Yeah.
are you doing to address the problem?
Well, we're advertising, and that's what I've told our coaches and told our administrators. And the sad thing about it, you're not getting a whole lot of response. Out of the advertisement, I have spoken to 2 officials that are interested. And a lot of the officials that we've had over the years are kind of like me. They're getting a little age on them, and we don't have any young ones lined up to do it. And also, I will stay on our coaches about when we do have young ones that think they want to be an official, and they get out there on the field, they're trying to learn through the junior high level, and we got coaches that riding them from the opening tip or the opening kickoff till the end, and they're looking at it. I don't have to take this. I'm not going to do this for a living. So, training is very important. Patience with our young coaches are very important because they're trying to learn, and we need them as we move down the line.
Coach Beck, thank you for being here, by the way. One question about 8-man and 11-man. You guys sanction both, is that right?
No, we do not.
Okay.
We at this time, it's been discussion. We do not have 8-man football this time. At this time, it could be a possibility down the road, but we do have some member schools that do not have the numbers to play 11-man football at this time, that are playing 8-man in the Christian League or another league. And some of them are trying to get the numbers back to 11-man, which will help us with a number of schools to participate with our 11-man. But we do not have an 8-man program at this time.
Coach, one of the things that you told us before you got up was how many years you've been athletic director for AISA, and that's 15?
It's July 1st, started my 15th year, yes, sir.
That's unbelievable. Thank you for being with us this morning. Valuable information, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Well, thank you, guys.
Let freedom ring all month long at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Declare your independence from your old ride and upgrade to a nicer, newer Ford, Honda, or Nissan. We're giving you up to $3,500 in down payment assistance to get into the new vehicle you want. Interest rates are at historic lows. There's never been a better time to get more for your money. Plus, we've never paid more for your trade. Get a cash offer even if you don't buy from us. We'll pay you $1,000 more than any other written offer. Other dealers may be low on inventory, but at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga, we're stepping on the gas and loading up our lot. Come in today and celebrate the freedom of choice this month only at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Guaranteed credit approval may require money down. See dealer for details.
Let freedom ring.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
What's your favorite high school sports memory? A late inning rally? A game-winning shot? A photo finish? Maybe it's a pep rally or a pregame ritual. Maybe it's the euphoria of a late-night bus ride home after a hard-fought win. Maybe it's having pizza with teammates after the game. Now, imagine if it never happened at all. School sports need your help. With budgets getting tighter, it's more than the games that are on the line. It's all the traditions, the community pride, the culture of your hometown high school. Plus, all those memories that are on the line, too. What can you do? It's simple. Buy a ticket when you can. Go to a game. Take the whole family. Let's do everything we can to keep those cherished school sports memories alive.
This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Director of Sports Medicine at the Orthopedic Clinic. We got next on the podium will be Smith Station. We just finished up with Coach Roddy Beck. John, you handle Handley though every week, week in and week out. So Smith Station had a tough year last year, 4-6. They play in a brutal 7A region with Auburn Central, Prattville, Enterprise, Dothan High School, which is a new 7A school. Smith Station is part of that region, and it is tough. And now we'll go to the podium, and Van Riggs will introduce Coach Mike Glisson and the Smith Station Panthers.
Welcome back to Fox Sports 910, 1310 a.m. The Games High School Football Media Days. We are really excited to be back here for day two, and a big special thanks to Roddy Beck, AISA Director, giving us the AISA perspective on the start to high school football season. Some really great information there, and we appreciate him being with us. Packed slate today, and we want to continue on our high school football media days today, presented by the Orthopedic Clinic. Appreciate John Rich being here in the Orthopedic Clinic and their sponsorship, and we've got a satisfied customer here as well from the Orthopedic Clinic, our next football coach. Smith Station High School, Mike Glisson is entering his third season as head coach at Smith Station. They will start the season off against Russell County on August 21st, and we'll welcome in Coach Mike Glisson.
Well, good morning. It's good to be here. I'd like to thank iHeartRadio and everybody who has a part in this. This is really good for high school football. Able to come up here and talk about our programs and talk about what we've got going on in high schools today in athletics, and that's just a really good thing. And you know, we're excited to be here. It's been a great summer for us. Our kids have worked really hard, and we've had a great summer, and we're looking forward to the season. like everyone else, looking forward to getting started next Monday for real, I guess you should say. But we have been started, like most folks. After we work out and run, we get out on the field and get going. But we're really excited about this season. Got a lot of kids back, a lot of kids that played a lot of football, and got a good senior class that's leading the right way and doing things the right way. And so we're just excited to see what's going to happen this year. Was able this year in the off season to hire some new coaches. And I was thinking about it on the way up here. I think right now I have 3 guys on my staff that are former head coaches, and I got about 5 or 6 guys that are former coordinators. And so, any coach to get up here and tell you you're only as good as the guys who work with you. And so I'm excited about that from that standpoint as well. But things are looking up, and we're excited. And of course, our region's tough like always. But that's just what it is, and we're going to have to get ready to play. But we're looking forward to the first one on August 20th versus Russell County. And, I'll take questions if you have some you want to ask.
How's it going, Coach? Jack Patterson with WRBL. How is being able to have a full offseason with your guys, especially with a senior laden class, has been able to help you get ready for the gauntlet that is 2-7A?
Oh, compared to last year with COVID, and we were having to work them out in half of them at a time and never could get them all together until when practice started. Having them all summer is huge, and having spring training is huge. I feel like we're so much further along right now than we were this time last year. Our kids have worked and our coaches have worked, and we're ready to play. We could play next week if we had to. That's how much time we spent together and working and doing things. It's unbelievably how much further along we are than we were last year with all the restrictions we had. So it's been good to have a full summer. And it's good for the kids to get back to normal too. We hadn't had all the restrictions and all the masks and all that, and it's been really good for us and the kids, and hopefully it'll continue in that direction.
Mike, going into your 4th year, looking at this senior class, the fact they were freshmen when you got there, how have you seen through these last 3 or 4 years how they've really bought into the expectations you guys have for this program, and the amount of progress you think they've helped the program make?
I will say this, the kids bought in from day one. That first senior class I had went from 0-10 to 6-4. And so that was big in our region. And so, but these seniors have been with us for 4 years. They've been in the weight room for 4 years, working the way we want them to work and being pushed the way we push them. And so it's going to pay off, there's no doubt. And they know what we expect. And so now when the 10th graders, the 9th graders coming up to be 10th graders, when they come up, they have people who know how things are supposed to be. And these are 2 of them sitting here that know how things are supposed to work and how you're supposed to practice and go about the weight room and everything else. And so that helps a lot.
Hey, Coach, Rex Castillo with WRBL. It's another issue, I guess, with this summer, though, is it's getting really, really hot. How are you and your staff keeping your kids safe with the temperatures on the rise?
Well, it's definitely hot, no doubt about it. During the summer, we go in the mornings, which the last 2 mornings have not been very fun. But, we teach them about staying hydrated, eating right. We have a trainer who's there 24/7 with us, and we have plenty of fluids for them. We watch them, and you just got to recognize the signs when one gets in trouble. You got some kids that when they get hot, they're going to say, "I want out," and then you have some that if you don't watch them, they'll get in trouble. And so you got to know your kids, watch them, and make sure that any signs you see, you get them out, get them cooled off, and make sure they make it through the day. But their diet and the fluids they take in away from us is the most important thing. We were talking about that on the way up here today. The guys that get up a little bit earlier and eat them a little bit of breakfast and get them some water in them before they come to practice, they don't have a problem. But the guys who don't, they seem to have more of an issue. So you got to educate them about how to take care of themselves, and then you just got to watch them.
Jonathan Hoppy with WTVM. For the 2 seniors there, How has your class grown together, and what's your expectations for this final year?
My name's AJ. I'm the offensive senior here right now. So basically, our senior class has grown together since 7th, 8th grade. We've all played together, grown up with each other, played since Little League. It's just us being able to become leaders and being able to teach these younger guys that we know what we're doing, we know what we can do and what we will do in the season. So we've just been able to be cohesive and be able to just be a whole team together finally for first time in probably 2 years since we went 6-4, had a great senior class, and just becoming a great team, honestly.
My name is Marquis Brooks. I wasn't there, like, when they first started. I just got here recently, my sophomore year, going into my junior year. I came from Central. When I first got here, I felt welcome. It felt like a brotherhood, and I knew I had a home at Smith Station High School. When I first got there, Coach Glissy, he welcomed me with open arms, and everybody on the team. And when I first got there, it was like instantly. I knew what I wanted, and the guys, they knew they wanted to win, and I knew I could help them. And every day at practice, we push each other harder and harder every day. We don't let nobody slack. If we in the weight room, we go hard, make sure everybody get every rep, every set. We go outside, we practice together. We do everything as a team. And I feel like this is going to be one of the best seasons that we have. And I feel like that we're going to make it to November. And I think we could do a lot of big things this year because we got great coaches, great players, we got good staff, and our fans, they've been a big part of us in our success. And we got a great community around the school.
This question is actually for you, Marquis. Being on the defense and you playing in such a tough region, what is you guys' focus when it comes to, when you playing teams like Central or Auburn or teams like that? What is your focus on trying to, to stop those explosive offenses?
We try not to get, over our heads. We play our game, watch a lot of film, and we be ready for them whenever they do. We don't try to, do everybody else's job or try to show out or make a bigger play and give up a big play. You just play your role, play your keys, and everything fall into place because our coaches, they put in a good game plan for us to win. And if we follow that, we can do whatever we need to do to get the job done.
Again, for the players, you guys, as you mentioned a couple of years ago, go from 0-10 to 6-4. So what would it mean for you guys to take this thing to the next level, make sure that Smith Station is an opponent that people just overlook moving forward?
Well, I feel like, let me see. I feel like Smith Station has always been overlooked in a way because it was 7A, and you always got the Centrals, you got the Prattville, and schools that's big and that always win or make it to the playoffs and make it to state. The difference between then and now is the guys, they weren't really understanding what they can do and what their potential were, or they would always feel like they're a smaller team size-wise, but it's different because we have a lot of courage now, a lot of confidence in ourselves and our coaches and what they tell us every day to do, and I feel like that we can do big things.
So I feel like with what we're doing right now, getting bigger, stronger, faster, we won't be overlooked, and we can make it to November. November is a big shot, big deal for all of us. Most of us have never been in that type of experience, big stadium, large crowds. But I feel like with what our community is doing for us, what we're doing for our community, they're going to be there for us. We're going to be able to make it, work hard, and just get to November.
That's a good job thinking about November. Coach Glisson, I wanted to ask you, thank you for being here, by the way. I did want to ask you, I'm sorry to have to drag you back up there. The numbers, how many numbers you have out, maybe on varsity, JV, if you do that for us, give us a rundown.
We got 100 on the varsity. We got about 35 ninth graders. We got 7th and 8th grade, about 120 combined. So our numbers are good. COVID really hit us hard. I don't know about the city schools compared to us. I don't know if a lot of people know, we're not really in a significant city if you've ever been to Smith Station. But it seems like the more rural kids, I don't know if there was a lot more hesitancy to play because of COVID, because all of our numbers were way down. I think we had like 65 on the varsity last year, and probably 25 to 30 on each one of our smaller levels. But this year they're back out. Everything seems to be good. Knock on wood, we won't have too many problems with any of that. But our numbers are really good right now, and our attendance has been phenomenal this summer, probably as good as it's been. And I think that's due to the part the kids are really excited that it is back to normal, and they can live their lives like they want to, and hopefully it will stay that way. I'd like to touch on what you asked, Rex, about getting to the next. That we've been close. Of my 3 years, 2 of my 3 years, we've been real close. My first year, in fact, Prattville beat us by 3 points and kept us out of the playoffs. That was to go to the playoffs. But we got to make the plays when it's time to make them. Last year, we had Dothan and Enterprise. Both we had chances to make plays to win those games, which would have gotten us into the playoffs. And we didn't. So we just got to make those plays down the stretch of the games that count to get over that hump, so to speak. But, I do think this group is a special group, and I do think this group has what it takes to make those plays. We just got to, as coaches, we got to get them in those positions, and then they got to be able to make those plays.
Coach Glisson, thank you for being here this morning. Good luck to you in your rehab, and good luck for the team in 2021.
Thank y'all for having us.
Let freedom ring all month long at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Declare your independence from your old ride and upgrade to a nicer, newer Ford, Honda, or Nissan. We're giving you up to $3,500 in down payment assistance to get into the new vehicle you want. Interest rates are at historic lows. There's never been a better time to get more for your money. Plus, we've never paid more for your trade. Get a cash offer even if you don't buy from us. We'll pay you $1,000 more than any other written offer. Other dealers may be low on inventory, but at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga, we're stepping on the gas and loading up our lot. Come in today and celebrate the freedom of choice this month only at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Guaranteed credit approval may require money down. See dealer for details.
Let freedom ring.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Uneven floors got you rolling? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
It's presented by the Orthopedic Clinic. We are live at the Event Center, the bottling plant in downtown Opelika. We're live on Fox Sports, the game 910, 1310, of course, WOTM TV, the official TV providers of the AHSAA network. Jeff Sasser, John Rich with us from the Orthopedic Clinic. John in charge of their sports medicine program. John, it's good to see you, and thank you for what you do, man.
Thank you for having me, and thanks for letting us sponsor such a great event. I mean, you guys have done it for the last 4 years, and it's been phenomenal to be a part of it.
Well, you guys are a big part of our program, too, and we appreciate that. You have a lot of schools here that you guys cover, too, don't you, over the 2 days?
Yes, we do. We have a good bit of our schools here. I know we had about 6 of them yesterday and got one today, and then we also cover a lot of other county schools up in the Randolph County area.
Yeah, you guys have done a good job. Then your Saturday morning clinic, if you'll go over that real quick for us. I know a lot of people may not understand that, but you kind of open yourselves up for let some athletes to maybe have some injuries come in, right?
Yeah, so during football season on Saturdays, we open up at 8 a.m. and we have a physician there. We have physical therapy. We have X-ray and MRI. So we have anyone that gets hurt on Friday nights or throughout the week can come in, be seen by our doctors, and we can pretty much have a quick turnaround on an answer of an injury. Not even some professional teams can get an MRI that quick on a kid.
Yeah, I know lots of times if it's maybe something they think you may need to go to the hospital on Friday, you can actually wait till the next morning because all they're going to do is call you guys in on call, right? So it's kind of easier to wait till the Saturday morning. And I noticed that you don't have to be a football player. You can also come in if you're hurt, volleyball or whatever,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, so any of our athletes at any of our schools can come in and be seen on Saturday morning. And, like you said, whether it's a cheerleader, a band member, a volleyball player, football player, we'll see anybody.
How long have you been with Orthopedic Clinic? I know you took over for Terry when he moved up, right?
It'll be 11 years coming up.
I hear you. And you know what? One of your schools you cover, Hanley, you had a basketball coach move from one school yesterday to another school. We want to congratulate Blake Smalley for his new job at Opelika High School. I think a fabulous hire for Coach Smalley in Opelika.
It is, yes. Coach Smalley's done a great job at Hanley. He's a good friend of mine, and I'm super excited for him. I think he's gonna have a great opportunity.
I agree. I think he'll do well. Of course, that leaves a gap for Coach Strain. He is the AD there, too, right? Is he the AD there? Mm-hmm. I was thinking about that. Hanley does a good job, too. Well, I think we got Reeltown up next. We got the Rebels play for the state title last time they were in Jordan-Hare.
They did, Mark. Had a tough year last year, 5-5. Not awfully tough, but they moved up to 3A.
Mm-hmm. And we'll turn it over to Van Riggs.
Welcome back. We're ready to bring up our next football coach, and I appreciate Smith Station High School coach Mike Glisson being with us today. Russell County coming up here in just a little bit, Notasulga and Lochapoka, and of course we'll wrap up the day a little bit later on with Opelika High School. And I always think this is really neat when you've got a coach who is coaching at his alma mater, and he's had great success at Reeltown, entering his 6th year, 39-20 overall, just a couple years ago, playing for a state championship at Jordan-Hare Stadium, 2 undefeated region titles in his run. And without further ado, we'll bring up Reeltown coach Matt Johnson.
Good morning. First off, just like I think everybody has said, this is such a great event for high school football in our area. And so we appreciate all the sponsors, iHeartRadio and D-Mark for contacting me, and all you guys. Van, you do a phenomenal job with this. And it's just ran the right way, and it's great for the exposure of our athletes and get a chance to talk about our program. And anytime you get a chance to do that, it's always a great opportunity. So we appreciate the opportunity to be there. With me today, I've got Logan Dillard, who will be a junior for us this year, plays offensive line. D. Griffin's with us. He'll be a senior. He plays offensive and defensive line also. Matt Knox, a senior, plays linebacker and offensive line. And Scooter Brooks, who plays running back for us and plays a little defense also, who will also be a senior. Just kind of a state of address of where we're at. We're coming off a year last year where there was a lot of new things for us. And I know everybody talks about how crazy last year was, but, we were no different than anybody else. We had to deal with all the things that everybody else had to deal with, so it was kind of a level playing field there. We did move up in classification, went to a new region, played a lot of new teams. So we took our bumps, and but end of the year we felt like we were playing our best ball, and that's what you want to end up with. We had spring this year, which is a blessing after coming off of 2020. We had a great spring. Our numbers are back up, and going into summer, we've had one of the best summers we've had. The attendance has been great. We just finished our Ironman competition yesterday, and it's probably one of the most intense competitive competitions that we've had since I've been there. So a lot of good things, but just like everybody else, this time of year, everybody's undefeated. So, until we line up against somebody else on August the 19th, we'll see where we're at. We look forward to starting next week. Of course, the first couple of days will be a lot of what we've been doing, just as Coach said before me. But when we get those pads on, we'll kind of see more where we're at after evaluating through the offseason. So we look forward to it, starting off with a big rivalry right here at home and in Tallahassee, which was a fantastic game last year. We brought that game back after 17 years of not playing, and it lived up to the hype. So a lot of respect for Coach Battles and those guys over there. So we're really fortunate to have that game back and really excited to have it at our place this year on August the 19th. So at this time, I'll take any questions and for me or any of the guys.
Man, I want to start with that Tallahassee game. Just what comes to mind from last year? I mean, that was such an exciting overtime game, and the chance to do it at home again, and I'm sure probably pack out the stadium.
Right. Well, first off, we are thankful that hopefully we'll have the opportunity to pack out the stadium. I know some things are changing day to day, but at this point right now, there'll be no attendance restrictions. So with that being said, it will be an atmosphere that these young men have never experienced, even, 2 years from a state championship. That game, that atmosphere at our place is just different. So, we talked about last year the game, and even with the restrictions that we had at that time, the excitement. And I think there was a lot that went into that, the unknowns leading up to that, the hype of the game coming back, a combination of just a whole bunch of things all bottled up in one. And, coming out on that field with with some restrictions in the crowd, but still a very large crowd and very loud, and just understanding that we've got to that point after everything that we went through. It was just a combination of all those things that made for one of the most exciting games that we've played in a while, and great atmosphere, a great game on the field, no problems there. So we look forward to continuing this game, and both administrations, have done a great job with it, as well as the communities. So really looking forward to that game and the excitement of having it in our place.
Coach, I know you're a couple of years removed from playing in the state championship game right here at Jordan-Hare, and we certainly enjoyed having you here during that time. What did that do for your program? And I know these guys were a little bit younger at that time. Do you still talk about that and how you guys were able to achieve that and what it takes to get to that point?
Right. Well, that's part of our program is, that's our expectation. We fell short of our expectations last year for sure, because that's not where we expect to be, and we hear all the things of, you went to 3A, you dealt with all the COVID stuff and all that, and all that is things that we don't want to hear. That's things that we guard our guys from. That's a hole that you don't want to step in, and because it's hard to get out of, and that's a losing mentality that we don't discuss. We expect to be in that situation like a couple of years ago. So that was a great team, some great memories, a great run. Probably one of the greatest games that I've been a part of that led up to that, and the atmosphere in that semifinal game. But we do talk about that and use that team as an example. But as far as, you don't want to live and ride on your successes, because they'll turn into failures. And that happens sometimes on a week-to-week standpoint and a day-to-day standpoint. You'll turn around and everything be going right. We just had 2 great days of Ironman, like I said, probably the best since I've been there. And then we could turn right around on Monday and just come out and flop. So you want to congratulate them and recognize the great things, but you can't live on it to where it becomes a failure, the next time you go out. But that was a great team, a great experience, but that's our expectations.
A question for each of the players so you guys can just take turns going to the podium. You guys just missed going to the playoffs last year. Just what sort of motivation has that been this offseason getting ready for this year?
It hurts because knowing that we're not going to the playoffs, and half of the seniors, it was their last year. And, I mean, it motivates us to push harder this year. Like Coach said, we had Ironman these 2 days past, and we really improving a lot.
Not going to the playoffs last year definitely just has a fire in our guys, just keeps us burning and pushing forward. You know, like we expect us as a team as a whole expect to do great things. So when we didn't achieve the level of excellence that we wanted to, it kind of hurt.
Not making it to the playoffs last year really hurt all of us and all of our seniors last year. We knew it was going to be our last game and of the year. After that, when we figured out we weren't going to make it, we all came together a lot stronger, and we played the best game of our whole season at the end last year, and we all saw what we could do, and I'm hoping this year that they'll see the same for us, and we'll have a good season this year, and everybody will stay bonded like we are now and like brothers, just like a family there now, and hoping we all just stick together and have a good season.
Not making the playoffs last year, it hit different. The seniors, they worked hard for the whole summer, and we expected better as a team, but we didn't exceed expectation. And we just gotta get better and better. And those seniors from last year, they deserve, to be in the playoffs. They deserve to get another shot. And yeah.
Coach, I'm going to bring you back up there. Talk about your numbers, if you will, your numbers on your team. I like to do this with your varsity and maybe your middle school, junior high, if you will.
Right, absolutely. We talked about a while ago our numbers were back up. Last year, with everything that was going on, we play a junior high, since we're a smaller school, we play a junior high 7 through 9 schedule, and then we have varsity, which is, our 9th through 12th grade, the 9th graders that, we pull up to play varsity. So last year, our junior high, we didn't really have a season. They got to play 3 games, and that was just kind of really, really, really working to get those 3 games in. It was just a struggle. So we did get to play 3 games. A lot of people weren't able to play junior high, so we were fortunate to just get 3 games in. But what we did last year was all of those guys who wanted to had an invitation to come up and dress out on Friday night with varsity. So our number was a little skewed last year. It looked like we had a lot of kids varsity, but that included 7th and 8th graders that we typically don't do. So this year, since things are normal right now, as we talked about, it's day to day, but our numbers are back up. I think we've got 53 on varsity alone, and then we're flirting with around 35 on our 7th through 9th grade junior high team. So that's on junior high, that's probably one of the highest numbers. We've got 21 9th graders out playing football, which is by far the biggest class since I've been there, and that's just about every male in that 9th grade class. So really excited about that young group coming up, but numbers are huge, and I think a lot of that has to do with the excitement of just coming off of last year and wanting to get out and play. But, combined 2 groups is one of the biggest numbers we've had in 5 years for sure.
I appreciate the way you and your school don't back down from your faith and Christian beliefs. I appreciate that. I know you guys pray before the game, and a lot of people do that. A lot of people get in trouble for that or get scolded for that, but I appreciate the way Reeltown handles that and the way you handle it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. That's a huge part of our program and the process of leadership development.
Coach Johnson, we appreciate you and your team coming here today, and we wish y'all a lot of luck in 2021 season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Let freedom ring all month long at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Declare your independence from your old ride and upgrade to a nicer, newer Ford, Honda, or Nissan. We're giving you up to $3,500 in down payment assistance to get into the new vehicle you want. Interest rates are at historic lows. There's never been a better time to get more for your money. Plus, we've never paid more for your trade. Get a cash offer even if you don't buy from us. We'll pay you $1,000 more than any other written offer. Other dealers may be low on inventory, but at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga, we're stepping on the gas and loading up our lot. Come in today and celebrate the freedom of choice this month only at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Guaranteed credit approval may require money down. See dealer for details.
Let freedom ring.
Uneven floors got you rolling? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Welcome back, High School Media Days. Good morning, everybody. We are at the Event Center, the bottling plant in downtown Opelika on Fox Sports The Game, 910-1310, WOTM TV. We're live. Our Media Days is presented by the Orthopedic Clinic. We appreciate John and Terry and the wonderful doctors at the Orthopedic Clinic for sponsoring this wonderful event. And, of course, iHeartRadio. We are proud of me, Van, Jeff, our crew here, Matthew, and Eddie are very pleased to have this each year, and we certainly appreciate our wonderful media. Without you guys, it wouldn't be able to help, and of course our teams that make it to 20 plus in 2 days. We're going to continue with our media days. Next up, we're going to go out to Seal, Alabama, but we're actually going to stay here. But they're from Seal, the Russell County Warriors, brand new coach in his first year, coming as offensive coordinator from Pinson Valley, takes over at Russell County. A lot of new things at Russell County. They're getting new turf, new jumbotron. They got a new coach. We got brand new jerseys. A lot of new things at Russell County. And with no further ado, the new coach, Dylan Griggs. Thank you, Coach.
Good morning. First, I just want to say we are just so appreciative to be invited to Media Days down here. You know, I remember at my time at Central always gluing into this and just knowing how big it was for East Alabama as a whole. So, you know, I kind of want to start just by kind of talking about what's been going on since day one of being here. So we got here on March the 1st, and my first day, we had about 45 kids in the weight room. And so obviously, you know, I knew being at a 6A level, we had to do what we had to do to get our numbers up. We needed to create depth, we needed to create competition, and everything above. So, you know, I've been really fortunate to have inherited a good coaching staff, and then being allowed to bring a new coaching staff in, some new coaches in. And so we hit the hallways. We were calling parents of kids that were just off campus, period, and just trying to see what we could do to get our numbers up. And so from day one to now, as of yesterday, we had 97 kids in the program. So we have more than doubled where we are, which I think is more than anything a testament to the kids and the community as a whole of Russell County, that they are just very resilient. You know, and when you come calling and you have a vision with it, they want to be a part of that vision. And to even get on top of that, you know, it's been so rewarding. You know, when I was going through the interview process with Dr. Coley, our superintendent, just something about her just made me feel like she was just exceptional. And I wanted to be a part of her vision. And, you know, I gave her my vision before everything kind of went down. And, you know, it's been so rewarding, not just her, but the board, our administration, people in the community, our Chamber of Commerce, our county commissioners, everybody in between has just been so invested. And not only have we stuck with what we said we would do, but we've gone above and beyond. And so, like D-Mark said, you know, we have added new turf, an LED light show, a Jumbotron. We went from Adidas to Nike. We hired a company to rebrand us from top to bottom. We got guys running our social media. We're trying to do anything and everything to not just promote this program, but to promote these kids and to give them the best opportunity they had. That's simply been my vision from day one. You know, Corinthians 9:24 says we all run the race. And so that's been my biggest question from day one. Why are we running the race? Are we running the race to be the best, or are we just running the race to run the race? You know, and I've been very fortunate in my career to be with some exceptional coaches, Coach Blakeney, Coach Dubose, Coach Sam Shade. And that's the one thing I think I've taken from them is everything matters. Every kid is important. That fourth-string kid is just as important as that first-string kid. No stone unturned. And that has been the goal of the coaching staff and the kids from day one. I mean, they come out every day and compete. Effort is not an issue here. And I think more than anything, as a coach, when you're evaluating talent, you know, with effort, some coaching, and just a little bit of talent, the sky's the limit, you know. And so, you know, I think since we've gotten here, I've been able to add some coaches on the staff between Pinson and Central and my time at Prattville. I think I've hired about 8 coaches that have either coached in a state championship game with me or won a state championship with me. And that's really good when you think from the standpoint of all the little things we're doing right now. It requires me to have a staff that understands what we're trying to do, so that I can be free sometimes to do these little extra nuanced things. And that's been great. I mean, I tell you, I have an unbelievable staff. I have an unbelievable community, and I have never been more excited to be somewhere.
How's it going, Coach? Jack Patterson with WRBL. Now, Russell County has been admittedly struggling over the last few years or so rather, but you seem to have changed the culture there. There's been a buzz around Russell County that hasn't been there in years. What's been the reaction like to your tenure so far in the community?
You know, Coach DuBose once said, if we're always looking in the rearview mirror, we don't get a chance to look what's in front of us. So, you know, I'll be honest, we've gotten in here from day one, and these kids can tell you, we don't even talk about the past. We talk about the plans for our future and what the goals are ahead. And it just kind of goes back to, you know, changing the culture. It's just the community has invested itself. I mean, even my first day there, I had people showing up to my office, Coach, what do you need me to do? I'll do whatever you need me to do. And it's easy to change a culture and to do things when you have so much support. And then not on top of that, not even from the community, but the kids, they bought in from day one. Coach me, coach. And I love that, you know, that you can be loving, but you can be critical at the same time, and you get the same response every time. Yes, sir, just tell me what I need to do to fix it, and we'll do it. and we'll keep repping it till we get it right. And it's not just about the football. You know, we've started trying to build some leadership in these kids. You know, winning football games is always important, but I think the most important thing is raising future husbands and future fathers in this community that know what it takes to overcome and be successful in life. Because I tell them all the time, just like the game of football, there's ups and downs, and that's life. And you have to be able to ride that wave if you want to be successful.
Hey, Coach. Jonathan Hoppy with WTVM. Looking ahead to this season, it's a fast start for you and your staff, one of the toughest schedules in the state. How do you try to look at that and not be overwhelmed, and how do you prepare the kids for that schedule?
Well, you know, I mean, and you know, I've been really fortunate. You know, even at Pinson or at Central, we were in some really good regions, and we just take it 1 week at a time. We don't look ahead. You know, we've got to focus on what's right there in front of us and putting the best game plan together and telling the kids, just do your job. If you just do your job and you don't worry about anybody else around, you have to trust each other. This is a brotherhood. State championships don't happen on accident. Semifinal runs don't happen on accident. Region championships don't happen on accident. It's because there's a bond and there's a trust amongst each other. And so, you know, right now we've been focused on us, and, you know, we've got Smith Station, which is an unbelievable opponent, a great rivalry that has been around for some time. And, you know, we're getting ready to start focusing on Smith Station, and that's who we're going to focus on until the next week. And then the next week it'll become Barber County, and then the next week it'll become Park Crossing, and, you know, so on and so on. And so, you know, we're 1 week at a time mentality. We'll worry about the rest when they get there.
Hey, Dylan, Jordan Hill with Opelika Auburn News. Back when you were hired, you talked about, you know, thinking if that Russell County job comes open, I'm going to apply for it. Just on the outset, what was it you knew about the program that really, you know, made it appealing, and then obviously once you kind of got involved, made you want to take the job?
So, you know, man, that's a good question. So, you know, I graduated from Enterprise High School in 2007. You know, when the tornado hit the high school, that was actually my senior year. But I say that in saying that Russell County was in our region. And so I grew up playing Russell County, and I remember even thinking in high school, man, they got some athletes. If they could just put this thing together, like, they'd be really good. Well, then, you know, I go to Central, and I'm at Central High School for 3 years under Coach DeBose. I was part of the 18 state championship staff, and the one thing, and I can even remember me and Coach DeBose talking about, is they've got players. They've got all the resources. They just really needed somebody. And not saying anybody before me couldn't have done those things, but if you put the right person in place, I thought you could build this thing to be something special, you know, and that was really appealing to me. You know, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, you know, during my time I didn't see kids, you know, at various schools that should have been at Russell County playing at other places. And if they'd have just been there, there's no telling. The sky could have been the limit. And then you throw on top of that, you know, when me and my wife first got married and brought my stepson over here, you know, this place felt like home for us. You know, we felt welcomed in the community. We felt like we were a part of something special. And so when you throw all things of those together, it was just a no-brainer. Like, we wanted to come home, and we wanted to be a part of something that we thought could be special. And that was the biggest thing for me. I'm not saying it's easy to go to a Pinson Valley and go win ball games, because it's not. Coaching, you got to coach. You got to motivate. You got to lead. You got to do all those things. But if you're as effective as a coach as you think you are, you should be able to go anywhere and change lives. And it was just a no-brainer.
Hey guys, Rex Castillo with WRBL. I actually wanted to ask this to the players. So you guys have new uniforms, a new field, and a coach who's bringing a lot of energy. What is it like to play for a guy like that who's chosen Russell County, chosen to believe in you guys, and is dedicated to change this thing around?
I feel honored and appreciative, you know, because we've been struggling for so long. Now the light's finally hitting us. We finally, you know, putting Russell County out there in the news and stuff like that. And it feels good knowing that Coach came out and the whole new staff came out to, you know, put us out there like that.
Well, it means a lot to us, you know, because he's been offering us a lot of things, and the best we can do is just give back by giving our best, and yeah.
Any other questions?
Coach, this one's for you. When you see that 90 kids come out, I mean, it is one thing to create hashtags, create a brand, and believe it yourself, but when you see people buy in like that, especially in your first year, what is that like for you as a new head coach?
You know, sometimes it's a little, and I hate to say this word, overwhelming in a sense of, you know, I just want to give the kids the best that I can. And I don't care if it's 25, to be honest with you, or if it's 150. I just want them to know that I have their best interest. It's not about me. It's not about anybody else. It's about giving them the best that I can possibly give them every day. And, you know, as a husband and a father and a man, you know, I just want to demonstrate that to them every day, that you got to come with the same intensity, the same fire, no matter what's going on. In fact, I was actually talking to them on the way here, and I said, you know what I love about practice the most? For an hour and a half to 2 hours a day, all of your worries and all of your concerns are gone. You just have to focus on what's going on that field and being a part of this brotherhood. And, you know, for me, it's just great knowing that we are building a bond and that people see that bond and want to be a part of it. And, you know, more than anything, I just want, when they graduate and they walk out these doors, I want them to feel like they were a part of the best experience that any high school could have ever given them, and that they were given every opportunity that could have been given to them. And I think that's just my biggest goal.
Coach Griggs, team, thank you for being here today. Good luck to you and Russell County Warriors in the coming season.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys so much.
Let freedom ring all month long at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Declare your independence from your old ride and upgrade to a nicer, newer Ford, Honda, or Nissan. We're giving you up to $3,500 in down payment assistance to get into the new vehicle you want. Interest rates are at historic lows. There's never been a better time to get more for your money. Plus, we've never paid more for your trade. Get a cash offer even if you don't buy from us. We'll pay you $1,000 more than any other written offer. Other dealers may be low on inventory, but at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga, we're stepping on the gas and loading up our lot. Come in today and celebrate the freedom of choice this month only at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Guaranteed credit approval may require money down. See dealer for details.
Let freedom ring.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
What's your favorite high school sports memory? A late inning rally? A game-winning shot? A photo finish? Maybe it's a pep rally or a pregame ritual. Maybe it's the euphoria of a late-night bus ride home after a hard-fought win. Maybe it's having pizza with teammates after the game. Now, imagine if it never happened at all. School sports need your help. With budgets getting tighter, it's more than the games that are on the line. It's all the traditions, the community pride, the culture of your hometown high school. Plus, all those memories that are on the line, too. What can you do? It's simple. Buy a ticket when you can. Go to a game. Take the whole family. Let's do everything we can to keep those cherished school sports memories alive.
This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Uneven floors got you rolling? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
To High School Media Days, presented by Orthopedic Clinic on iHeartRadio, Fox Sports, The Game, 910, 1310, D. Mark Mitchell and Jeffrey Craig Sass here. Man, what a great 2 days. Day
It has
one's
been.
over, and we're in the midst of day two.
Yeah, we're rolling right along. We just finished up with Russell County. Now we got Notasulga High School coming in, having really a good season last year. 8-2, finished second in the region behind Maplesville. The only game they lost in the regular season was to Maplesville in overtime. Made it to the second round of the playoffs and caught Sweetwater.
A lot of people get beat by Sweetwater.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Tank is what they call him, our good friend, Councilman Langford.
I call him Coach Jones.
I do too, Coach Jones, but his nickname is Tank. He's done a good job. Hometown boy.
He certainly has.
As they say, and I don't mean that disrespectful, but a hometown guy. Played football there for the Blue Devils. And he's here. I got a little story, Jeff, to break from South Alabama. Lev Holly, who was the head coach at Blunt, is going to resign and be named assistant athletic director in charge of Mobile County. So Blunt will have an opening. You just saw a quarterback from McGill-Toolen transfer to Blunt, but now Lev Holly will resign. He may have already officially resigned, but if he has not, he will resign and become the athletic director, assistant athletic director for Mobile County Schools. That's a little far away from us, but it is breaking news as far as high school football goes.
Right.
So keeping with our theme of High School Media Days, so I thought I'd throw it in. Time for the Notasulga Blue Devils. We'll go to Van.
We'll continue with High School Football Media Days. Fox Sports 910, 1310 a.m. The Game. Big shout out to WOTM TV for their great TV coverage. Also the Orthopedic Clinic, our presenting sponsor. And want to thank Russell County for being with us there earlier. Coach Dylan Griggs, boy, remarkable stuff he's doing there in Seal, Alabama. And we're excited to welcome up our next school, the Notasulga High Blue Devils, and we want to welcome up Coach Anthony Jones and kind of like earlier, Matt Johnson we were talking about with Reeltown. This is another coach coaching at his alma mater, which I think is really great. He's entering his 7th year at Notasulga. Last year, after missing the first couple games of the season, went on a great run, picked up 8 wins on the season, ended up losing in the second round of the playoffs, but he's done a tremendous job. And 39-28, entering his 7th year. Please welcome Notasulga High School coach Anthony Jones.
Good morning, everybody. Blessed to be here. At this time last year, we didn't know if we was going to be playing any football, and it just makes a difference of what a year is. So now we back full going, and just blessed to be here, man. Brought some great guys with me this year, my seniors. Keith Hurd, O-line, D-line, to the right, to the left. I have a set of twin brothers, Terrell and Jarrell Creighton. Jarrell is the running back, defensive end. Terrell is the linebacker, and he's on the O-line. And I'm hoping that these guys would lead us like they did last year as juniors and get us far, and hopefully we're trying to get over the hump again. It seemed like second round or third round where we can't never get over the hump. And that's all I preach to these guys, is that we got to put the work in, and that's how you get far in life, not only in football. And sometimes, you go through some tough times, but, when you have a good God that we serve, He going to make sure that you get through. And to piggyback on last year, the seniors I had last year did an awesome job. We didn't know if we was going to even play football, and just leading up to August when we got the call from the superintendent saying that we was able to play, but we still had to worry about, if we had any COVID issues, we was going to have to forfeit. And the thing about that is, God blessed us. We didn't have any COVID issues going through that year. And we missed the first couple of games, but, man, we came out in region play, and we ran away with it till we ran into Maplesville, lost in overtime. That's probably one of the exciting games I ever coached in. We just came up on the wrong end, stopped us at the 2-yard line from having a region title. So I know these guys that's here should have that taste in their mouth. 2 yards away from getting the region title. The last time I won the region title was my first year at Notasulga, and we've been there. We've been finishing second for a lot of years like maybe 4 or 5 years. So now it's time for us to try to step ahead of who we need to step ahead of and try to get that region title and bring it home to the community. Because through all this pandemic, the community of Northern Sug has really did an awesome job. They had our backs. Anything we need, they're there. Unfortunately, last year we couldn't have fans in the stands, but we think right now that we will be able to, as long as you wear your mask. And for the support, these guys really missed, when you're coming out, there's no band, no fans, no cheerleaders, but they were just excited to play, and I was excited to be there with them. And it was a wonderful ride last year, and hopefully we can do better this year and get over the hump of what we need with these guys and another group of guys that we have.
How's it going, Coach? Jack Patterson with WRBO. When I talked to you last year, it was right around the time when you guys got the notification that you could play, and you guys went on that run last year to, finishing second in the region, lost that close game to Maplesville. What's it going to take for you guys to kind of get over that hump? You've come so close so many times against teams like Maplesville. What's it going to take for you guys to kind of get over that hump and win a region title?
Dedication. It's going to take heart. It's going to take effort, character. It's a lot of things that go into winning not only games, but region titles, state championships. Like I said, those type of games are not won off luck, but you do need a little luck to win them. But most of it comes with experience, and it just comes in with buying in to the program of what the coaches are trying to instill into these kids. All they have to do is really follow each other. Like I said, I don't have a lot of kids out with big numbers this year, but the best thing about this group, they're close, they're family. And coming from North Sug, everything in there is family oriented. Everybody know each other. We try to help each other. So that's the thing that I look for in trying to win a region title or a state title. It's family. And if you can lean on one another, you trust one another, then you got a chance to win. And I really trust these guys, and I hope they trust me too. So I really think that we have a good chance this year. Once again, just being in 1A football, you have to stay away from injuries and all the other things that come along with football. But as long as I think these guys do what they do, take care of their bodies, and just be good men in the community with their families, I think that you will have a chance to win if you do it the right way.
Hey, Coach Rex Castillo with WRBL. You were able to get that close to a region title in the weird offseason that was 2020. Now that you're kind of back to a normal schedule, you have a full offseason, able to do everything like that. Does that excite you with what the talent what you have on this roster and a full offseason to prepare for the upcoming season?
It does. Anybody that knows me, I love football. I've been in football probably since I was 5, 6 years old. And, that was a dream of mine to be a coach. And then God blessed me to be a coach at my old school. So I try to put everything I have into it. It don't matter if I'm sick or I can't do what I need to do. I'm going to be there for these kids. And I just want them to see that. So maybe they'll do the same thing. And they do. They will go out. They play hurt. They play injured. They do what they can. And that's what one of the things I was looking at this year. We did some remodeling in our weight room, so the weight room is better. So these guys have an opportunity to get stronger, work on things that we never, could work on in the past. So they see the difference. And now I think, just now we just have to be hydrated, take care of your bodies because it's hot. It gets hotter every year. Like we've been at practice now, heat index been over 100. So we try to just keep them with all the stuff they need at practice, but it's very important that they take care of themselves outside of practice. So I'm very excited, man. August 19th is right around the corner. That's our first game, a little bit over 3 weeks. So we really got to get in the lab and get working, but I'm very excited for this year.
Anthony, you guys graduated several really big playmakers from last year. Just what have you seen from this group that makes you think that they'll be able to step up and fill some of those roles?
I think going back from the spring, I've seen a lot of vocal leaders. A lot of guys trying to get my younger guys in line, which is going to be hard because they're young. We didn't have a JV season last year, and we got some pretty good looking JV guys that's moving up to the varsity, but they don't have that experience. And we've been to a few OTAs to try to get them up to the speed of the game, been playing against bigger classifications, been going hard on them at practice, in the weight room, trying to make sure they do the right stuff in the classroom. And these 3 gentlemen I brought with me today are good leaders of that. As being a young teenager, you're going to make mistakes, but it's key that you learn from them. And these guys are very mature for their age. They do a great job of trying to lead, but I tell them when you lead, you got to make sure that all your ducks in a row too, because if you're not, they're not going to lead you. If they see you doing wrong, they're like, how can you tell me to do something when you're not doing it? So it's almost when you playing sports, you're in a glass bowl. You're being watched 24/7, not only when you're playing, but out in the public, in the community, at your church, or even if you're out to eat. People know who you are. They know who you play for. If you're doing good, they're like, man, that Noah Sugga program is they really got some respectful guys. But if you're being crazy, they're going to say those guys are just undisciplined. So that's some of the things that my coaches and the teachers that we have there, we try to give them tough love in the community, just to let them know, man, that life, it can take you up or down. But if you do what you need to do, you'll at least have half of the battle to get through life.
This is for the players, you guys, to get that close last year to a region title. Has that been motivation in practice to go harder and to bring home a region title in Noah Sugga this season?
Oh, my name is Terrell. Yes, it been motivating me to go hard at practice. I go hard every day at practice. I try to do my best to show the young guys that anything you put your mind to, you can do it. I try to help my coaches out to win for them for our 2021 season.
My name is Keith Hurd. Yes, I do feel great about this season. Looking forward to getting in some great players, and like Coach was saying, it's all about character and paying attention to what you're doing in the public. We really look forward on with most of our players making positive choices, moving forward. Just trying to watch your surroundings, especially with COVID being around still. Most people look at it as it's still there. But, I look forward to this season. We got some good guys, and from there on.
My name is Jarrell, and I think we're going to have a good season. We got some really good guys. We just got to go out there and be great, like weight room. We do like good reps and all that stuff. We got really good players, and really we got to do is get the little guys in line. We got a little more to go through, you know what I'm saying, to get right in the season, and yeah.
Coach Jones, one of the things you told me before you got up is you have 6 home games this year. That's a big thing for you.
Yes, a lot of people say that, ask me how that happened, but it came from a lot of the forfeits from last year, and some of those games that we had to go to them. So, when the season flips, they have to come to me. So we just ended up being blessed to have those games, and I really appreciate having those games because last year we didn't have any type of revenue. So we at least get a chance to make some money for the program, and that's what I've been doing a lot this summer, getting out trying to get sponsorships for these guys so we can have stuff in store for them because you need money to have a successful program as well, good resources, and that's just some of the stuff that we don't have at a 1A level. So you have to get out and make sure that your kids are well taken care of. But those 6 games, we're really looking forward to it, and I hope these guys are up for the challenge because I told them they have a X on their back and everybody's coming for them. So they got to play hard every Friday night, but leading up to Friday night, we got to go hard every day at practice to have a good game on Friday night.
Jones, thank you and your team for being here today, and good luck in the coming season.
Hey, thank y'all, man. Thank y'all for having us.
Let freedom ring all month long at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Declare your independence from your old ride and upgrade to a nicer, newer Ford, Honda, or Nissan. We're giving you up to $3,500 in down payment assistance to get into the new vehicle you want. Interest rates are at historic lows. There's never been a better time to get more for your money. Plus, we've never paid more for your trade. Get a cash offer even if you don't buy from us. We'll pay you $1,000 more than any other written offer. Other dealers may be low on inventory, but at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga, we're stepping on the gas and loading up our lot. Come in today and celebrate the freedom of choice this month only at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Guaranteed credit approval may require money down. See dealer for details.
Let freedom ring.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
What's your favorite high school sports memory? A late inning rally? A game-winning shot? A photo finish? Maybe it's a pep rally or a pregame ritual. Maybe it's the euphoria of a late-night bus ride home after a hard-fought win. Maybe it's having pizza with teammates after the game. Now, imagine if it never happened at all. School sports need your help. With budgets getting tighter, it's more than the games that are on the line. It's all the traditions, the community pride, the culture of your hometown high school. Plus, all those memories that are on the line, too. What can you do? It's simple. Buy a ticket when you can. Go to a game. Take the whole family. Let's do everything we can to keep those cherished school sports memories alive.
This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Back to the high school media days. We're coming to you live from the Coca-Cola Bottling Plant Event Center in downtown Opelika. We just finished up with Notasulga High School Coach Anthony Jones. Now we got coming to the podium next will be Lochapoka High School. Normally it'd be Coach Rico Newton, but filling in for him is Coach Lebransky Salter. And boy, he brought half the team. Didn't he?
One of the things that I've noticed yesterday and today, Jeff, is everybody wants to know how different this year is than the COVID year. One of the things that I've noticed that every single player seems to be bigger and stronger this year than they were last year.
We've seen some big teams come in, and even the smaller classifications have had some big young men come
yes,
in.
They have.
So, they had a year of ups and downs. Some teams were hit harder than others. We had one of them, probably the hardest hit, Beulah last year.
Yeah.
But they were able to get through their season and didn't make the playoffs. But this team coming up next, they finished third in the region, did make the playoffs, had to travel the first week, and got McKenzie and lost in the first round.
Tough first round match.
They did, but they play a pretty strong schedule every year, and they got the forfeiture from Beulah because of their COVID restrictions, the protocol that Beulah was following. But Winterboro, Billingsley, Maplesville, a 2A school.
And I think it's the Highway 14 rivalry with the team that just left.
Notasulga, that's right. They play that one every year.
And that is a very good game every year, no matter what the records are. It's a big rivalry game, very akin to Opelika Auburn and some of the other big rivals around. These kids grow up together. They live just a few miles apart.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a program that is very storied. They have a great history, and it's going to be tough to get back there, but they can.
And the winningest coach in Lee County history, Coach Jerome Tate.
Right.
Coached for many years
yes,
at
he did.
Lochapoka and was very successful there. And but he brought 5 players with him: Cam Willis, a wide receiver; Nick Farrow, a running back; Jonathan Callaway, a linebacker; Chris Buchanan, an offensive lineman; and Nick Mayberry. So he's got 5 players with him.
Okay, and we're gonna go to the podium and do.
All right, welcome back to High School Media Days, presented by the Orthopedic Clinic, live here at the Event Center on Fox Sports The Game, 910, 1310, and WOTM TV, the official television station of the Alabama High School Athletic Association. Thank you for our media that have assembled here today and yesterday covering our media days. We appreciate all of our 20-plus teams that make this possible, coaches, players, everybody, as I say, all God's children to make this possible. Blessed to have a beautiful day here and to be in the Event Center. Our next school is the Lochapoka Indians. Head coach Rico Newton is not here with us. Coach Newton is in quarantine. We need to be thinking for him. He's doing well from what I understand. Coach and I were talking before we went up here, but I want to take a minute before I bring up assistant coach here who's in the house, Coach Salter. I do want to brag on Lochapoka. This past week, they were one of the schools that received the Sportsmanship Award from the Alabama High School Athletic Association for no fines or having any kind of fine or unsportsmanlike conduct. That's a great achievement for Lochapoka. Coach Anthony Edwards was honored for making a difference award. So it was a great week, Coach, for Lochapoka. It's always a good week for everybody, but certainly last week at the HSAA, Lochapoka really shined during the week. So with no further ado, I mentioned that Coach Rico Newton is not here, but one of his top assistants, Lebronsky Salter, is here. So I'll bring to the microphone, the podium, Coach Salter. Thank you, Coach.
Good morning. First of all, let me thank everyone for inviting us out again. It's always a privilege to be able to discuss your football team, your sports athletics prior to the beginning of the season. We're really looking forward to this season. I mean, last season we had COVID and things of that nature, and when everybody was kind of quarantined here and quarantined there, and you didn't know week to week what the season would be like. You may play one game this week, and the team that's scheduled to play the next week, and our team as well, may be in some type of restriction and not be able to play. So we're kind of looking forward to getting this season off and get it started and getting on the way, because you never know what's going to happen. We thought this COVID thing was behind us and it looked like it's trying to, make a circle around. So, we're looking forward to hurry up and getting the season started and getting some good competition in, because you never know how things may change or what rules may have to change as we get into the start of the season. With that being said, I want to introduce these guys that I brought with me today. On my far end down here, I have Chris Buchanan, offensive lineman. Right here to my first left right here, I have Nick Farrow. He's a running back / defensive back. On this right-hand side, my immediate right, we have Cam Willis, receiver / defensive back. In the middle there, we have Nick Mayberry, his offensive lineman. And on the far end down there, we have Jonathan Callaway, receiver / linebacker. Just a little bit about what we're trying to do this season. I mean, we're always continuing to try to build on our brand. At Lochapoka, we're a small community out there. We consider each other family. It's a small community, so we're always calling out family, and that's what we're big thing at Lochapoka is family. But we're always building on our brand, which is LA football. That's Lochapoka, Alabama. So we continue to build on our brand. We want our guys to, continue to buy into what we're doing. We try to, preach a few things and teach a few things, coach these things, and those main things we try to work toward is, dedication. We try to make sure that these guys are buying in and dedicated to our program. Along with dedication, we try to coach hard work. Hard work comes and it pays off when you put in the hard work. And then also, discipline. Discipline is a big part of our program as well. So, with those 3 things I just mentioned, I want to go back and discuss those just a little bit. The dedication. You have to be dedicated to the program. That means when we have practices, we have events, we have other things of that nature, you have to be dedicated and show up. It's easy to say, oh, I got something else to do, or I can't make it, coach, or this and that, or whatever, but when you're dedicated, you show up. We have guys that have summer jobs, and, they had to leave their jobs a little early just to become dedicated to the program. And then as far as the hard work goes, our guys have always worked hard because, like I said before, Opelika, we're a small school. So, when you're a small school, guys have to play both ways. So you have to work hard. You have to be prepared. You never know when your number's going to be called, your name's going to be called to play a position that you're not accustomed to on a daily basis or on a weekly Friday night. And then the discipline. The discipline is on the field and off the field. We're not just talking about when we're on the field on Friday night or at practice. We're talking about in the classroom and out in the community as well. If you're not disciplined on and off the field, then it will show on the field. So we take pride in those three things. We're really looking forward to this season. We want to try to play some high-powered, fast offense. We want to try to execute plays without error. On defense, we want to try to fly around the ball and make sure that everybody's getting to the ball. We're making sound tackles and at the same time being safe. With that being said, at this time, I'll take any questions.
How's it going, Coach Salter? Jack Patterson with WRBL. Last year when I came out to you guys' media days, there was talk about bringing back the Polka way. And I know last year was a crazy year with all the quarantines and everything, but now that you got a full offseason under your belt, how has it been going to kind of installing that culture and, getting guys ready for the upcoming year?
Well, I would like to think that we're right on track, for the Polka way, and I'm glad you mentioned that, the Polka way. That's another part of our brand. We like to preach the Polka way, we like to coach the Polka way, we like to teach the Polka way, which means those three things I just mentioned a little earlier. We got to have that dedication, you got to have that hard work, and then you got to have discipline. So we've been coaching those things throughout. We worked on it a lot last season, and like you said, all season we worked hard. The guys have worked hard. They've showed the dedication. They put in the hard work, and they've definitely showed the discipline. So we've back to the Polka way. We're definitely back at the Polka way, which is the Polka way, the winning way.
Guys, Rex Castillo with WRBL, and this is for the players. Just backing off of that, the Polka way, having another full off season with Coach Rico and his entire staff. For you players, what does that mean for you to be able to take that next step for the Indians? And y'all look great. Could you say your first and last name before you answer your questions? For the players.
My name is Cameron Willis. For me, the Polka way is like having a family and winning. And Los Polkas was always used to winning, so we got to get back to that. And last year we started it again when we went to the playoffs, making the playoffs. So we just got to get back to winning and being a family. That's it.
My name is Nick Farrell, and the Polka way for me is winning, taking team leadership, being a team leader. Last year we went to the playoffs, lost the first round, but we're going to bounce back this year and make it further. That's it for me.
My name is Jonathan Calloway. To me, the Polka way is hard work, teamwork, and winning.
We got two more.
Two more? Nick?
My name is Nick Mayberry, and the Polka way to me means, like my teammates say, Cam Willis, family, teamwork, hard work, and dedication. Hopefully we make it further in the first round this year.
My name is Chris Buchanan. The Polka way to me is sticking together as a family, playing hard on the field, and bringing back tradition that is at Los Polka High School.
Hey, Coach. Jordan Hill with Opelika Auburn News. I wanted to ask the last week or so after losing Jaden, just how have you seen these players, this entire team, kind of support each other through these last few days?
Yeah, that was a tragic accident. We lost one of our players to a ATV accident last week. The guys, that accident, to be honest, really knocked the wind out of us. You know, at a point where we're looking at this upcoming season, looking to build on some things from last year, looking to build on what we've seen in the offseason, looking to build on, you know, the attitudes and what we worked hard to try to get to. And then losing Jaden was, like I said, knocked the wind out of us. But the thing about Lochapoka and in the Poka way, you know, like I said before, Lochapoka is a community, and a small community, so that makes us family. So what I've seen the guys do is lean on each other. You know, like any family does when you get adversity or you have, you know, tragic things happen in life, family leans on one another. So what these guys have done, have leaned on each other, the team, the coaches, the community, and the whole Lochapoka staff. We've just learned to lean on each other like family, and these guys have bounced back, and they've shown that, you know, that although their hearts are hurting, that they're ready to, you know, carry on and you know, make this season dedicated to Jaden.
Coach Salter, thank you for being here today, and thank you players for being here, and good luck in the coming season.
Thank you for having us.
Let freedom ring all month long at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Declare your independence from your old ride and upgrade to a nicer, newer Ford, Honda, or Nissan. We're giving you up to $3,500 in down payment assistance to get into the new vehicle you want. Interest rates are at historic lows. There's never been a better time to get more for your money. Plus, we've never paid more for your trade. Get a cash offer even if you don't buy from us. We'll pay you $1,000 more than any other written offer. Other dealers may be low on inventory, but at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga, we're stepping on the gas and loading up our lot. Come in today and celebrate the freedom of choice this month only at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Guaranteed credit approval may require money down. See dealer for details.
Let freedom ring.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
What's your favorite high school sports memory? A late inning rally? A game-winning shot? A photo finish? Maybe it's a pep rally or a pregame ritual. Maybe it's the euphoria of a late-night bus ride home after a hard-fought win. Maybe it's having pizza with teammates after the game. Now, imagine if it never happened at all. School sports need your help. With budgets getting tighter, it's more than the games that are on the line. It's all the traditions, the community pride, the culture of your hometown high school, plus all those memories that are on the line too. What can you do? It's simple. Buy a ticket when you can. Go to a game. Take the whole family. Let's do everything we can to keep those cherished school sports memories alive.
This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Uneven floors got you rolling? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Back. Good morning, everybody. D. Morgan, Jeff. Nice shirt, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
We're not matching it.
Well, you know,
it wouldn't be right if you didn't do something right.
I met the calls. Hey, what y'all wearing tomorrow?
Well, you know, you cut grass in your shirt, you said, so that wasn't smart. But anyway. All right, welcome back. High School Media Days. presented by the Orthopedic Clinic. Man, what a beautiful time of the year this is, my man. Robert Knowles in the house. I mean, the photo guy.
Yeah, I mean,
he's trying to get
he's
our
pictures everywhere. Yeah.
Pictures everywhere. If you need a picture, Robert Knowles will take care of it. Look, we've got media from everywhere. We've got Montgomery, Columbus, excuse me, here locally. Look at Robert getting our picture right there.
And, of course, WOTM.
WOTM, the official HSAA.
That's right. Official
network.
website. I mean, official
television
of the AHSAA.
There you go.
You know, this will be a good time to tell everybody about who's watching or listening that some of the things we got coming up this football season. You know, every Wednesday night, which will be broadcast on Thursday night, we have the coaches show and all the area coaches, and we have, goodness, Mark.
Well, the coaches show first is presented by the Orthopedic Clinic and Riceville State Services, which will be at Moe's Original Barbecue. We'll be there on Wednesday night in person, unlike last year. But we will air it Thursday night on Fox Sports The Game and 97.7 Kicker FM. Jeff and I will host, and goodness, Jeff, we'll have our regular plethora of schools that'll be attending most of these. Not all, but most of them will be in the house. And, man, that's something you and I look forward to. I know a lot of listeners do. You get to hear the coaches talk about their last week's game and the upcoming game that'll be in the next week. It's good to see Daryl McIntyre in the house, too. Old Mac used to
retired
iHeart man in the house. So good to see Mac and Miss Marty. Anyway, the coaches will be there, and it's always a good time. And number one, Jeff, I'm looking forward to getting back out in the elements and meeting and socializing with the coaches like we do. We did it last year on the telephone.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be there with them, Mark. It just makes a big difference to be there. You get to know some of these guys, and we got a lot of new ones, and we have a lot of new coaches in our area that we need to get to learn. And you know, we're going to on Wednesday nights, and it'll be live. It won't be live on Wednesday. We'll do the coaches show on Wednesday night, and we'll broadcast it on Thursdays. But then Friday nights after the games, we got the scoreboard show.
The Encore Rehab Scoreboard Show, which will be on from 10 to midnight every Friday on Fox Sports The Game and 97.7 Kicker FM. And then we have two football teams that we cover on iHeartRadio here locally. The Valley Rams on 100.9 The Bull, Valley Football. And then, of course, forever and ever, probably 30, almost 40 years now, 97.7 has been the home for Bulldog football. And that's Opelika High. Van Riggs and his group will be there game one to cover the Dogs. Wall-to-wall action starting at 6:30 on the Kicker each Friday night. And it goes until the game's over. And then we'll have the scoreboard show. And then don't forget, bright and early Saturday morning, you and I and Terry will be in the Orthopedic Clinic studio. That's Terry Rosenthal. And we'll have the high school recap show presented by the Orthopedic Clinic. And, man, that's a fun time because we get to come in on Saturday morning and play coach. You know, I'm just kidding. We come in and give you the results of Friday night. We go locally, and then we go statewide. And
we'll cover every score.
Every score. Excuse me. Every score is usually, you know, maybe not be in Friday night when the scoreboard's over, but it certainly is in on Saturday morning.
Right.
And Terry
because we get ours from the Alabama High School Athletic
Association and the Alabama.
You get big trouble not reporting that score. Right?
Oh yeah, you get you a fine for that. But you know what? It's a fun time of year. It's good that that we're able to do that, and I look forward to those Saturday mornings because it's before college football. We kind of go over the Friday nights and go into next week. And geez, Terry, he's about as good as there is when it comes to sports and high school sports and covering sports. And you know what I found out yesterday? Marissa's going to be in the band. Can you believe she's that old now?
Oh, she's what, ninth grade?
Ninth grade. My goodness, Terry's
she's growing
old.
up.
Terry's
you know
old.
what though? Something else that we do. If you really love high school sports, you can listen to Mark and I from 6 to 9 every Monday through Friday on the Mark on Fox Sports Game 910 1310.
Every weekday.
Every weekday, and that's 6 to 10. I mean 6 to 9 Central Time. That's 7 to 10 if you live in the Eastern Time zone.
That's right. And you can catch us on foxsportsthegame.com. You can download your iHeartRadio app on your handy-dandy smartphone.
And it doesn't cost how much?
Zero.
Nothing.
And
you can catch our podcast.
Podcast, Off the Mark, as well. And let me say this. During our show, on Mondays, we have Coach Dan Washburn, former executive director of the HSA, as our guest host in the house. Then throughout the week, every other Wednesday, Coach Joe Wilson, the man, the legend, comes in on Wednesday. We have Coach Doug Barfield, who was here yesterday, former coach at Auburn, former coach at Opelika, and many other places. We have Coach Larry Gore, who's a former coach at Opelika. Excuse me there, Jeff. And we also have Derek Lee, Opelika Power Services, comes in on every Thursday. We have Coach Gene Stallings that calls every Thursday at 7 o'clock to get his outlook on college football, and he covers the whole nation. And then on Friday, the senior pastor at First Baptist Church, Dr. Jeff Myers, joins us, and his right-hand man, Chris Wood, who's the administrator. So, you know what?
And what does Chris do other than being the executive pastor?
Chris is the statistician for the NFL Atlanta Falcons.
Yes, he has.
And
Been doing it since he's 15 years old.
Unbelievable. Sounds
Chris
like-
has been doing that a while.
Sound like somebody else, a 15-year-old that started.
And we talked to a lot of other coaches, Mark, because you being involved with Super 7 and me every 2 years, getting involved.
Well,
We
now-
get to meet a lot of coaches.
Yeah, I've been
And-
blessed, Jeff.
Yes, and so we'll talk to other coaches in South Alabama and North Alabama throughout the year. And I think we're probably looking forward to more of that this fall because we're going to play football all year.
Yeah, we're going to play football all year. Yeah, we do have a lot of contacts.
All season, I should say.
Yeah, statewide, and it's always good to dip in North Alabama, dip in South Alabama to kind of talk to the coaches that we know and get their outlook. And we'll even go over to Georgia. We talk with Coach Dubose, quite a bit. And we even have some contacts in college now with Coach Blackman and Coach Ross over at Troy, Coach Blackman at Central Florida. So,
Yeah, and I would venture to say that we have talked to more coaches in the state that are active coaches than coaches we haven't talked to, because we talked to a lot.
I agree with that. We don't care.
All 14 Super 7 coaches.
Oh yeah, during the championship we have them all on, no doubt.
And
For the Super
we'll
Sevens.
talk to Coach Curtis at UMS Wright. We'll talk to Coach Benefield. We'll talk to Coach at St. Paul. Mark, help me out. Steve Mask.
Oh, Mask. I'm sorry, I was looking at Coach Blackwell over there. But.
And we've got a lot of coaches that we talk to, and I see that Alexander City is
The Benjamin Russell Wildcats from
the Benjamin Russell Wildcats.
And remember, you can't say Ben Russell. I got in trouble that day by
You
that
did.
gentleman, even though they go by Ben Russell.
I thought Ben Russell was like just it's short for Benjamin,
it's
right?
Short for Benjamin, and there was no disrespect because we love these guys. And they got a first-year head coach, Aubrey Blackwell, and he came from Montgomery Catholic, played in the championship game last year, came a little bit short to Fife, but you know what? A lot of people come up short to Fife, so there's nothing to be complained about that.
Right.
Paul Benefield in his blue jeans and hoodie does a great job. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He retired and now has his coaching contract, so he's retired and will coach. How about that?
He's a retired educator. He ain't retired from coaching.
No. And let me tell you, he will run a pass maybe once a game. That's about it. If he throws a pass, but.
Right. Now, he had to throw some against Catholic.
He
Mark.
did.
He got
He
behind
did.
a little bit, and he did do that.
Yep, he did.
However, Benjamin Russell has struggled in the last few years, and I can't think of a better coach to bring in for what he did. I guess the most success I've seen him have, and since I've been doing broadcasting, was probably Coach Horn. Danny Horn, of course,
He
he went.
I believe down in Spanish Fort, Sierra Leone, wasn't it?
He's gone back to Central of Clay County and won 2 state championships, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
There, right?
Well, it's time to go to the Benjamin Russell Wildcats. We're going to turn it over to Van Riggs at the podium.
Welcome back as we continue here. Our Fox Sports 910, 1310 a.m. The Game High School Football Media Days. Big special thanks to Opelika, a great group of young athletes with us earlier. Quick reminder, just kind of on our schedule coming up, we've got Southern Prep coming up. Dadeville High School, 10:35. The Oaks, a brand new school in the Opelika-Auburn area, at 10:55. They'll be playing 8-man football this season, so we'll hear from them. And then to wrap the day up, Opelika High School coming up at 11:15. We're really excited. We've got another new coach to East Alabama taking over at Benjamin Russell High School from Alexander City. It's their second time over at our High School Football Media Days. We're, again, super excited to have them here attending with us today. And their coach had a tremendous run at Montgomery Catholic, and I know he's excited to take over in Alexander City. We'll welcome up Coach Aubrey Blackwell and Benjamin Russell High School.
Good morning. Man, it's a pleasure to be here. Really, really excited about the future in Alex City. We've been going hard at it since January. I've got 4 young men with me, all 4 seniors, guys that have really done a great job of helping us build to this point. And I'm going to introduce them. Running back, DeMarcus McNeil. Tight end, H-back, Braden Pritchard. defensive back wide receiver D.T. Thomas, and center offensive lineman Trace McCaleb. And we're really, at this point, we've boosted our roster. When I took over at Benjamin Russell, we had 46 kids on roster. Right now, we're hitting at 92. And really excited about getting the energy back on campus. We've worked really hard to really get our image back in our community where we want it to be. We're pushing really every single day to do what we need to do in the community to be better people and get that excitement back and get it back in sports at the Sportsplex on Friday night. Outstanding schedule this year with 6 home games and a group of kids. We have several that started in our spring game at Chelsea that haven't played football in a while. We were able to get several guys back that haven't played. And so we've put a very inexperienced group on the field that night. And these 4 guys right here have been the anchor. These 4 guys are up here tonight because they've been through it all, and they've been playing football all the way through Pee Wee and never stopped. And we're really looking forward to them to leading us, and really excited about where our football staff is coming around, and really happy that at this point moving forward that we're in a good place where we need to be and where we want to be.
Hey, Coach, Jordan Hill with Opelika Auburn News. Just talk a little bit about what this offseason has been like as far as getting in and getting settled and what you've seen out of this group getting ready for the summer or getting ready for the fall.
Well, the biggest thing is in our off season, starting in January, there was a true hunger out of this group. Number one, for work and that being pushed. They wanted us to really get in there and push them to their limits. Had an outstanding off season in the weight room. We had most of our guys. We maxed again this week, and we've got guys that have gone up 200 pounds on squats. We have guys gone up 150 on bench. Most of our guys have gone up at least 100 on hang clean and are lifting, and so we're really pleased at where we've come in the weight room. And we're a big weight room energy type team. It's something that we really spend a lot of time and effort in. That's where we want to really build the core of who we are as individuals, how tough we are on the football field, and those guys have done an amazing job with that. It's been a very slow process of getting our staff hired because of the processes and open jobs and open teaching positions. But we're rounding that up. Hired my last 2 actually as of yesterday, and so I'm really excited about where that staff is coming. Kendall Lacey comes to us as my assistant head coach, defense coordinator. He was at Dothan High last year, and he's been at Valdosta. Really excited about what he brings to the table. My offense coordinators are John David Atkins, who is an Opelika grad, worked at Phoenix City and Opelika, and he's worked at Dadeville and Coosa, and really excited about his youthfulness and what he does and what he brings, bringing some great ideas, and a spread offense is what we're going to have to really use that for our intensity with. My associate head coach and offensive line guy, Jess Smith, was my offense coordinator at Montgomery Catholic. Did an amazing job for us of getting us in positions last year and really helping us get over the hump at Montgomery Catholic. And so Coach Smith came with me. In my opinion, he's one of the best offensive line coaches in the state of Alabama, and I know Coach Smith has already seen tremendous strides with what's happening there. But these young men right here have really put in that work, really put in that effort, and their energy in January and February really is what boosted those numbers that came out in the spring for spring training that we had in May. And so we're really pleased that the energy that has been created, that's what we wanted. We wanted that excitement back in Alex City, and we really wanted to re-bring our tradition. One thing that when I took this job that I talked about is number one, living in Alex City for a short time in my life, and I was there from 2000 to 2002, and that was some of the best times to be a Wildcat. When you lived inside of Alex City. And that's what we want to fight for. You know, on our social media and the things that we talk about, we constantly are talking about renewing our tradition. Because we have a great tradition in Alex City, and we want to get that back. And that's going to start with how we play, how physical we are, and our effort on the field. And so I'm really looking forward to the hard work that these guys have put in this summer that is really try to build off of what we had in our spring game.
Good morning, Coach. Thank you for being here. I know you had a little rush, so I'll take a deep breath. We appreciate you coming from Ben Russell, Alex City, to be here. I've had you on my show earlier on the mark, and we talked about some things in the past, and you made a very good comment that there's nothing looking in the past. You're not going to talk about the past, moving forward. Kind of give us that explanation, if you will, kind of like you did the other day.
Well, there's several things that, that you could focus on when you're taking over in something new. But the one thing that we did when we came in is that we just wanted to know what can we build off of, what can we change. And that's why you see a lot of things, the uniforms these guys are wearing are one new piece in our new branding of what we want. I want to be able to, for people, number one, to recognize the old, the traditional Benjamin Russell and the maroon and gray. We're repatterning our uniforms and our color schemes and how we're doing that to go back to the traditional days of Coach Savarese and Coach Martin, and want to make sure that we bring back that, and that's really what our community is thirsty for. Our community is really thirsty to have that that excitement and that pride every single day, and you cannot move forward with looking back. You can learn from your past, but you can't move forward when you're looking behind you. And so that's really kind of been the theme of everything. Is that was a no-go in our place. We don't talk about the past. We look back and see where we need to go because we've had some teams, some coaching staffs, and some players at Benjamin Russell High School that were outstanding people. They're tough individuals. That's how this city was made. That's what our community is. Blue collar, hard-working people that have pride in their school, that have pride in their families, and that's really what we want to get back to. We really want to focus back in on creating that when my kids graduate from my football program, when they move on, that they are those people, that we get back to being the community that we are, and getting back to being those tough blue-collar workers. And that's what I really want our guys to be.
I have a two-part question for the players. First of all, what's it like to be under the new coaching staff? And second of all, what are your realistic goals for this season? All the players.
My name is Dante Thomas. I like the coaching staff a lot. You know, they bring a lot of good energy. They're bringing a lot of new things that we didn't have last year. You know, they're pushing us more, and that's making us more better. I've improved more, and my fellow seniors here have improved more. And our realistic goal is, you know, we're just trying to make it to the playoffs, trying to show that we can be a top dog like we used to be.
My name is Trace McHale, and I just want to say that I think Coach Blackwell has gotten together a staff that is one of the best in the state and one of the best in the nation. And having the privilege to play under them and to reap the benefits of having that new, renewed coaching staff has been a great experience. Just in a short span of a couple of months and over the summer, I think that I've grown individually, like leaps and bounds compared to where I was last year. As far as technique, strength, speed, size, I think I'm completely whole, and I think everybody here at this table can agree that they are a whole new player compared to last year. Moving forward this year, I think a couple of our goals, like DT said, making the playoffs is burning true in our mind going forward. But I have to remind all of our players that we just need to take it game by game, getting it better every day, and if we do that, then good things will line up.
I'm Braden Pritchard. This new coaching staff Coach Blackwell's brought in has been really great to us. I mean, they've pushed us, they've worked us hard. I mean, strength and conditioning has put us through it, and he's done a really good job so far. And I think this year we're going to be a brand new team because, I mean, the tradition I feel like it's been brought back, and he's doing a really good job with what he's been doing with his coaching staff and all these new coaches. They're doing great things.
My name is DeMarcus McNeil, and just to back up what they were saying, yeah, I feel the new coaching staff is really good, and move forward in the future, how we, you know, make it to the playoffs and you know, just make stuff happen.
Coach, I'm going to get you back up there if you will. You had an extraordinary career, 6 years was it 5 or 6 years at Montgomery? Six, 54 wins, I think.
Yes, sir.
Talk about moving from that school to Benjamin Russell and kind of the challenges. You kind of went through it early, but kind of talk about the success you have had at Montgomery and kind of moving into Benjamin Russell.
Well, the biggest thing that we started with at Montgomery Catholic was building our kids up, which is happening right now. All 4 or 5 of us we're having a little kids camp right at this point, where I have all of our 5 and 12-year-olds in Alex City, and we've had them at the Sportsplex, teaching them football and loving on them, and having our guys, our players have actually been coaching. And we run it in stations, so our guys get to coach those young kids. And so we wanted to start developing the pride in who we are in our community and getting that excitement back for football, starting all the way with our kindergartners. And how outstanding number. I think we had 76 kids out at football camp this week, and today's the last day for that. So it's really been exciting about that. The next thing is just trying to build back our support in our community, and which has been outstanding. It's been an incredible warm welcome from members of our quarterback club and 12th Man Club, people within the city, even outside the city, to alumni, and it's kind of been an outpouring of that, not only on that, but getting calls from Coach Savarese and Coach Martin and Coach Lasmy, and talking to those men about what was successful then and what were good things that worked in the community and what were some things that they would like to see come back and that happen not only on a Friday night, but in our weekly preparation. There's been some things that we've talked about that we're going to do on our game day traditions that Coach Savarese had and even Coach Horn had, that meant a lot to the community, meant a lot to those now. I have a lot of our players, their fathers played in our program. And so that's been really, really exciting to get through and to get that moving forward. But, we have to create a foundation. So we started off right away that we've got to have good help. My coaching staff was my number one importance. And the next thing was get everybody in our hallways that's capable of playing football, get them excited about it again, and have them understand the importance of that it's not just themselves that they're representing so much more. And the tradition that comes from that and the things that they're able to do and that they could have for Benjamin Russell is really, really important. And so that's been a tremendous plus for us, getting those guys back out of the hallways and back onto the football field. And some of these guys are having huge summers, and so they're already seeing some of that, reaping some of that benefit, of that reward. Not even that because they haven't played football in a while, understanding that, man, this game is something that I can do and I can do well. And so it's going to take that. The things that happened in Montgomery at Montgomery Catholic was not something that just I did. It was an incredible administrative staff that never said no. They said, okay, let's figure out how we can get this to work, to coaching staffs that worked those hours, that made sure that it was a lot more than just about coaching kids. That's the biggest thing that when I was going through searching for men to join me here, I wanted to make sure that their number one priority was going to be to love on these kids, to make them better people, to spend time with them off the football field and outside of school, to invite them over to have them for dinner, to invite them to church on Sundays if they wanted to go, to make them be a part of our family. And I think that's one thing that really set our program apart there, and it will set our program apart different here, is because my program is a life-giving program. It's not just, we don't have a football program to win football games. We have a football program to develop young men, develop good people that are hardworking and that do things right on and off the field. And the product of that program has been winning football games, and that's the plan here. That is the blueprint that we're starting to put in place. It is going to take some time to get it where we back through the tradition that it had before, but we also know that through hard work decreases that time. Support in our community decreases that time, and those things have all been coming together really quickly, and I'm really proud of our community and the Benjamin Russell family.
Well, Coach Blackwell, first of all, welcome back to East Alabama, and good luck to you and your team this year and the coming season.
Thank y'all. Go Wildcats.
Let freedom ring all month long at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Declare your independence from your old ride and upgrade to a nicer, newer Ford, Honda, or Nissan. We're giving you up to $3,500 in down payment assistance to get into the new vehicle you want. Interest rates are at historic lows. There's never been a better time to get more for your money. Plus, we've never paid more for your trade. Get a cash offer even if you don't buy Buy from us. We'll pay you $1,000 more than any other written offer. Other dealers may be low on inventory, but at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga, we're stepping on the gas and loading up our lot. Come in today and celebrate the freedom of choice this month only at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Guaranteed credit approval may require money down. See dealer for details.
Let freedom ring.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
What's your favorite high school sports memory? A late inning rally? A game-winning shot? A photo finish? Maybe it's a pep rally or a pregame ritual. Maybe it's the euphoria of a late-night bus ride home after a hard-fought win. Maybe it's having pizza with teammates after the game. Now, imagine if it never happened at all. School sports need your help. With budgets getting tighter, it's more than the games that are on the line. It's all the traditions, the community pride, the culture of your hometown high school, plus all those memories that are on the line too. What can you do? It's simple. Buy a ticket when you can. Go to a game. Take the whole family. Let's do everything we can to keep those cherished school sports memories alive.
This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
And welcome back, High School Media Days, presented by the Orthopedic Clinic. Good morning, everybody. We are so happy to be here. This is day 2 of our Media Days, our 4th year that we've done this, and certainly could not have made this possible without the Orthopedic Clinic. They're our main presenting sponsor. We certainly appreciate what they do. And our wonderful schools that accepted our invitation. We just had one drive away, all the way from here. Coach Blackwell, thank you guys for coming from Ellick City and being here, and all those that drive so far to be a part of our Media Day. Some less than others, but it certainly means a lot to us, our media, and to the schools to get their publicity out, and certainly our media this year. We appreciate you guys and ladies for being here, promoting high school sports. To me, there's nothing better than high school athletics and certainly high school football. We've had a good run. We still got a lot of schools left today. After Southern Prep, we've got Dadeville, the Oak School, and we'll end here with our home school, Opelika High School. But now it's time to turn our attention to Southern Prep. For those of you that may not know the name Southern Prep, and we always look in the past a little bit, and formerly Lyman Ward, they've dropped that name and have a new branding. So they're Southern Prep. Coach Bell is their head coach. I've met Coach Bell years ago when he was the head coach of the Notasulga Blue Devils, and he certainly does a good job. He's done a good job at Southern Prep. They have a unique situation, and Coach will explain it. They actually play 8-man football some weeks, and other weeks they play 11-man football. So I'll let Coach Roland Bell explain that. With no further ado, Southern Prep head coach Roland Bell. Thank you, Coach.
Good morning. We're so happy to be here. So like D. Mark was saying, Southern Prep, formerly Lyman Ward, we play both 8-man and 11-man football. We're independent. We don't play for a state championship anywhere. However, we do get the chance to be invited to and go play for a national championship on the 8-man level. So looking back at last year, 2020 was a little bit of a setback for us. 2019, we went down the national tournament and won the Division II national championship. And, so last year we played well enough to be invited back to the tournament, but we got put out first round right away. So again, coming off that 2019 season, a little bit of a setback for us. And of course, there's a variety of reasons that we had to set back. First quarter, the very first game, we lost one of our senior linemen, and he broke his leg on a pass play, and it was kind of all downhill from there. But we still played well enough. We played tough, especially on defense. And one thing that you normally don't see in 8-man football are shutouts. Over the last 2 years, we've had 7 shutouts. And, we were lucky enough to be invited last year, our coaching staff, to the All-American Bowl for 8-man football. And I was asked to bring our defense, our defensive philosophy up there. And in the All-American Bowl, we had a 47-0 shutout where, defense, only gave up less than 100 yards and only 4 first downs. So we kind of like our defense philosophy. We play fast and furious. Also, some things from last year, we played the #1 team in GISA 8-man. We played the #1 team in the country in 8-man football, and we lost that one at home 20-18. But because of that game, again, the 8-man national tournament said, hey, you're good enough to come play on this level again. So when we went down to the tournament, guess what? We got to play them again. So some key losses from last year. We had 7 seniors, which 8-man football is a lot. 3 of them were offensive starters, 3 were defensive starters. And then we also lost both our offense coordinator and our defensive coordinator. They both moved on to, something a little bit different. One has moved up to help start a flight high school, an aviation high school, and the other has moved up to be, an athletic director and head coach of his own school. And we get to play them this year, so we're going to see how that goes. Some key returners we have from last year. We have over here Garrett Peebles, who is our #1 returning receiver, and he's also defensive back. And over here we have Owen Wolf, who was our quarterback last year, and athlete, special guy. We could kind of put him almost anywhere. He's converted wide receiver as well. We have Ernest Moore, who will be returning as outside linebacker, and this year we're moving him to running back from wide receiver. Leonce Daigle will be returning on the offensive line, and Evan Cole will return at cornerback. And as a 10th grader, he made All-American. Last year, he didn't make it, even though he was one of the tops in the country in interceptions. This year, he'll also be starting as a wide receiver. And then our kicker, Gabe Weaver, will also be returning. So like I said, we like our defense philosophy. It's fast and furious, so we will be playing that same intensity this year. And, hopefully we'll get the same expectations out of it. Our defense has really carried us the last couple of years. And, this year we're also bringing in a completely new offensive scheme. And it's a lot of misdirection. So we're hoping to, raise those expectations for the offense. But it will also be fast and furious. So we also have new coaches on staff. And to my left over here, we have Patrick Reeves. And to my right, we have Cortavius Watkins and Jim Keller. And, their exact responsibilities, we're still trying to figure all that out because we just got them in the last week. So our season outlook for this year, we have 3 11-man games. We'll be starting the season with Cornerstone and Springwood, both out of AISA. And then about mid-season, we'll play Meadowview in AISA. And then we have 8 8-man games, which we'll be playing 4. Actually, I thought it was 3, but it's 4 schools out of Georgia, 2 public schools and 2 private schools, all in 8-man. And then, we're playing Westwood out of Georgia, who, again, was GISA state champions last year. And this year we'll also be playing Ezekiel and Evangel, who were the #1, #2 team In 8-man last year, they played for the national championship. And then October 8th, we'll be playing Calhoun County out of Georgia, and 8-man Extreme will be broadcasting that game live. 8-man Extreme, they cover all things 8-man football in Tennessee, Georgia, Kentucky, and Alabama. So, we were lucky enough that this year we were selected for them to come broadcast one of our games. So at this time, I'll open it up to any questions.
First, Coach, let me ask you what the challenges of playing 11-man versus 8-man.
Well, for us, what we've developed in our 8-man scheme is to try to make it as seamless as possible to the 11-man game. So on defense, we use a 3-3 defense, which 3 linemen, 3 linebackers, and we use 2 corners. We don't use safeties at all. So when we transfer that to 11-man, we just move the nose guard over a little bit, insert a defensive tackle, and their assignments don't change. The outside linebackers, we tell them now you don't have to cover your deep quarters. We just have them cover the flats and support the run. The corners play the exact same, and then we just insert 2 free safeties, and they cover deep passes, and it converts well to 11-man. And then when we go to offense, basically, in 8-man, we don't have the 2 tackles. So it actually slows down the pass rush for us because now defensive ends are coming from further away. So we do have the 2 tackles. And then we just insert an H-back who just, he's opposite the tight end, and he kind of acts like a tight end, but we can use him as a back as well. And, if he's going to go out on pass routes, he just learns where's the open space nobody else is going to, and that's what he tries to fill.
Hey, Roland, Jordan Hill with Opelika Auburn News. Just tell me a little bit about the progress you've seen in this program since you got here and sort of your vision for what's next.
Well, before I came, or when I interviewed, I was going to be the 6th head coach in 6 years. And that was one of the things in the interview that, I promised that if they would hire me, I would stay and properly build a program. If also they promised to keep me around to properly build a program. So now we're going into year 4. So things are looking pretty good there. The 65 years that the school had football, I've only been there for 3 of the 65 years, and I've already got 10% of the wins. It's just, there's been a lot of turnover throughout the school's history. So, it's just been, they need someone to come in, show the kids they care, and stay. So that's what I'm doing. And, year 1, we only went 1-6, but, a lot of the teams we played and, some of the guys who had been at the school for like 20 plus years, they said, Coach, forget the 1-6. We've never seen football like that around here before. So, I bring to the table, again, caring about the kids. I'm going to be around. So we do at the end of the year what's called retention recruiting. And, after my first year, I guess, I just kind of connected with the kids. And, the school president had come up to me and said, since I've been here, I've never seen this many kids say they can't wait to come back for football. So I'm just, this year, like I said, we've got all these guys returning, and those are just the key guys. We've got, I think it's about 15 guys returning either varsity or JV, who will be on the varsity. And, that's kind of unheard of in the past at our school.
Coach, would you do us a favor, kind of explain where some of your kids are from that go to school there? Maybe if you could go through that.
Okay, where our kids are from, pretty much you name it. We have kids from all over the United States and overseas. Since I've been there, I've coached a defensive end who wanted to play college football in Mexico. We've had a running back from Russia, a lineman from Thailand or Malaysia, Asia anyway. But we get kids from all over the place.
Question for Garrett and Owen, so you guys can just take turns. What's it like going from playing 8-man one week and then maybe playing an 11-man game, and do you kind of like the challenge of sort of having to adjust?
Hey, I'm Owen Wolf. I play quarterback at Southern Prep. For me, going from an 8-man to an 11-man football game, like Coach Bell had touched on earlier, he tries to keep it to where it's not much of a transition. It's just kind of like, we make it smooth going into it. Like you said, with the defense, we just add 2 safeties. Offense, you just add the tackles. The plays are still pretty much the same offense, same defense, but just trying to add extra players out there. So it's not too hard. They keep it simple for us. So, yeah. Garrett.
Hi, I'm Garrett Peebles from Southern Prep, and I'm a receiver. It really just goes into your preparation and like your football IQ and what you do before the games, because really, I mean, it's a big difference playing 8-man and 11-man. So you just gotta go forward and understand your assignments and what you're gonna do, and that you're gonna be playing different positions, and that other people are gonna be playing different positions, and know your assignments. Thank you.
Coach Rex Castillo from WRBL. Being independent, you kind of have a Notre Dame type feel to your schedule, but that schedule is laden out with a bunch of guys, a bunch of teams who either are state champions or contended for titles, and then you're adding the extra layer of 8-man to 11-man. Just what's it like coaching players who are so willing to be so versatile on top of going through a tough schedule?
Well, the kids we have are great, and like I said, the Notre Dame mentality. I was speaking with one of the coaches, 8-man coaches, trying to get them to play us, and we were kind of liking their conference to the SEC, and I kind of threw us in there. We're kind of like Ole Miss. We're a big hitter every now and then, but we're still trying to come up. And he said, well, actually, you're more like Notre Dame because you're not in our conference and we don't have to play you. Back when I first started, we were everybody's homecoming game. I mean, even our first game of the year, we were homecoming. And, we ruined one of those. And then, the next year, I had a full 10-game schedule laid out for us. And during the season, I had to replace 8 of those games because we're not in a conference. And, teams would call us up and say, hey, you're not in our conference, so, we don't need to get our boys hurt against y'all, so we're not going to play you. And, then I'd constantly having to find new games, but that's just part of being independent, and we have to reach further out. Like I said, we're playing 4 teams out of Georgia, and last year we played 4 teams out of Georgia, and it's what we do.
I had a quick question for the players. I noticed Army recently, they put out their schedule, and it was pretty grueling. Just talk about your daily schedule at a military school, kind of from start of the day to academics to practicing football. It seems like a lot to juggle, and just how you manage all that.
So in the morning, we wake up every day at 6:30. We go to breakfast, or actually no, we go to the flag formation. We form up, salute the flag as it goes up, and then we go to breakfast. After breakfast, we all march together as a battalion to the school. We go to school from about 8 to 11:30, and then we get lunch, march back to school, finish up school around 3:30, and then after that, it's out to the field. We'll be out there from about 3:30, about 6 usually, trying to get as much time as we can before we have to go do something for the military side of the school. Sometimes they're not as lenient with that. Sometimes they're pulling us out of there early. Sometimes we got to get out of there and go get our haircuts. I mean, so it's a little tricky. A lot of stuff to juggle, like you said, with it, but it's consistent, so I guess you can kind of work with it.
It can definitely be a struggle because, like Wolf said, it is a military school. So, I mean, we have drill, we have to practice for parades, and it being military, we have to have certain haircuts. So, yeah, we do get pulled out of practice sometimes. So, I mean, it's just the extra studying you do when you're in your room or your dorm that you have for your preparation, and that's about it.
Coach, how many players do you have to work with this year?
It's a guessing game right now on the number of players. I know we have, for varsity, we have about 15 returning. However, on August 4th, some kids will show up that we've never met before. And then, but those are ones that we know are coming in to play football because it's our 3-day football camp before school starts. And then on August 7th, when the new kids come, and again, we've never met them before, some will play football, some will not. And we usually end up on the varsity 20, 24 players, and JV, it's usually, 15 to 20 players. But, like my son last year was 7th grade, but he was, he's my size. So he got in a little bit of time on varsity, and this year in 8th grade, he's going to travel with the varsity every game because now he's bigger than me.
Coach Bell, thank you for being here with us today, your coaches and your players, and good luck in the coming season.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate y'all having us.
Let freedom ring all month long at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Declare your independence from your old ride and upgrade to a nicer, newer Ford, Honda, or Nissan. We're giving you up to $3,500 in down payment assistance to get into the new vehicle you want. Interest rates are at historic lows. There's never been a better time to get more for your money. Plus, we've never paid more for your trade. Get a cash offer even if you don't buy from us. We'll pay you $1,000 more than any other written offer. Other dealers may be low on inventory, but at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga, we're stepping on the gas and loading up our lot. Come in today and celebrate the freedom of choice this month only at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Guaranteed credit approval may require money down. See dealer for details.
Let freedom ring.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Uneven floors got you rolling? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Welcome back, everybody, to our high school media days here at the Event Center, the bottling plant in downtown Opelika. We appreciate Miss Lisa and Zach. Thank you for being here and handling our music and letting us in this morning. Lisa Ditchcott runs this place. If you're interested, contact Lisa here at the Event Center and the bottling plant. We appreciate their hospitality and letting us use this nice facility for our media days. We also thank our title sponsor, the Orthopedic Clinic, what they do for us, high school football and all the kids. Jeff Coat Trent Funeral Home, Coca-Cola, and Frederick Dean Funeral Home are big sponsors, and we thank all of those that make this possible, our players, our coaches, and our media. I think I took care of everybody. But we certainly appreciate everybody taking time out of their busy schedules this time of year to be with us. Certainly these coaches are fixing to gear up for a long haul. Hopefully all of them will be playing in December. Unfortunately, that won't be able to be true, but we want them all to be able to be successful. 3 schools left today. We've got Dadeville, the Oak School, and Opelika, and I introduced this next gentleman last year when he took over the first year at Dadeville. I've known Coach McDonald, Coach Roger McDonald. I call him Raj because I've known him since he was a young one. His mother and daddy calls him that. But he has fine parents that live in the valley that I've known for many years. I've known Coach McDonald for many years, watched him play at the Valley Rams, at the old Rams Stadium over there in Fairfax. He's a hard-nosed individual. He's gonna get his kids to act right first. They're gonna act right or they're not gonna play, and then they're gonna play with class. And I can tell you now, they'll go in the shotgun when it's time to punt, okay? So with no further ado, I bring up Roger McDonald in his second year as the head coach at Dadeville.
Yeah, I've known D-Mark a long time, and, you know, he deserves a lot of credit, a lot of things he's done for high school athletics, you know, in this area. He's been a big supporter of everybody for a long time, and I want to thank all of y'all for having us, and, you know, the media here does a great job in promoting high school athletics and high school football, and so glad to be here today and just talk a little bit about where we are and what's going on, and, you know, we didn't do spring practice, so we started practice Monday. We knocked out 2 days now in our T-shirts and shorts and helmet acclimation days, and so we're working hard right now. We had a good season last year. It took us a while to get everybody in the right spot. You know, didn't get to have spring and went through summer, and I really didn't know where a lot of guys needed to play and what their strengths and weaknesses were, and we figured that out. It's kind of like we had 3 weeks of spring practice to start the season before we got everything rolling in the right direction. Ended up having a big year. First time they'd been to the playoffs and had a winning season since 2015. Beat Reeltown in a great battle and got to go play T.R. Muller in the first round of the playoffs. So had a lot going for us at the end of the year, and it sold the kids on what we were trying to do. We've had a great off season in the weight room. Kids have worked extremely hard, a lot stronger than we were when we took over, and had a great summer. You know, I have a great coaching staff, and Coach Taylor, he handles my defensive tackles, but he also does a lot of the agilities, plyometrics, and conditioning. And man, when they're not at our place working, he has a full-size football field at his house, a whole training facility out there, and you know, you can see some of the videos. When I tell you he puts them through it out there, and it's completely voluntary. But you'll look out there, sometimes we'll have 15, 20 guys any day that we're not working out in his yard doing drills and stuff on their own, and he's out there with them. And so it's just a great effort that these kids have put in all off season, all summer. Headed into the season, same region, you know, I mean, you got 5 good teams, and I've said this before. Somebody good in our region's not going to make the playoffs. Last year it was Reeltown who didn't make it, and we had beat them, and then they lost to Pike County the next week. Heck, they were in the 2A state championship game the year prior to that. So you're going to have a good team not to make the playoffs with Catholic, Trinity, Pike County, us, and Reeltown. So you have some other good, Childersburg, you know, they wasn't bad, but when you look at those top 5 teams, somebody good's not going. And you have to, and every game in our region is tough, and you're going to have to battle. And so, like I said, just knowing the fact that Reeltown got knocked out, it sells that point that a good team won't make it. And our kids understand that. And so anyway, we had a preseason game scheduled with Opelika on the 13th, but Coach Newton had called me last night, and he had told me their situation with several of the coaches being sick and them not getting to start practice again till next Monday, so he had to cancel that game. So I called some other people, but it looks like everybody's filled up or don't have the same available dates. So we're going to just have a black and gold game at that point to do something with. But when I tell you our kids are excited, I mean they're excited. Not only have they been working all summer, I mean they're watching film, they're studying things from the past, and you know, it took us a while offensively last year. The kids bought into what we were trying to sell. Same thing defensively when we finally got to a point where they understood and we got the right people in the right places. So I just saying some of the same things over and over, but you know, I brought two seniors with me today that both started last year. Jordan Parker plays linebacker and defensive end. He's tight end for us on offense. And, you know, in our offense, our tight ends are extremely important, you know. Most people hunting one, we're hunting about four because we're going to be in double tights most of the time. And we don't just want guys there blocking. A lot of times they're our leading receivers. So Jordan's a smart kid, does a great job, does everything you asked, and turned out to be one of our better players last year, and he's worked extremely hard. And he's really a four-sport guy. Plays football, basketball, baseball, and runs track when he's not on a baseball game that day. And then Colin Goodwin. Colin's starting right tackle for us, starts at defensive tackle. Big, strong kid, and when I tell you works hard, man, he don't miss a day of practice. I think he went to about 18 camps this summer, and he would get back from camp and be there with workouts with us in the afternoon. And Colin also, he's a two-sport guy. He's on the track team. He's one of our throwers for the shot put and the discus. And but anyway, I guess I'll open it up. Whatever questions you got, you know, ask me or ask them, and you know, because I know y'all got a time constraint. Because you get me, I can sit up here and tell stories and for an hour or two if you wanted me to. But I know you got some other people coming, so y'all just shoot away, ask what you want, and we'll answer them, and try to stay in that lane as we're answering.
Hey, Roger, we had talked about this before, just how challenging it was for you coming in last year because of COVID and how limited everything was. Just how big of a challenge was that? And we also talked about how you kind of liked, you know, not doing things in the spring and having, you know, being able to start early. How much of an advantage do you feel like that can be?
Yeah, when we didn't get to have spring last year, it hurt us going into the season. But the fact that from a time constraint, I enjoyed the fact that I felt like we were prepared. I wasn't worried about kicking game, and we had plenty of time to get prepared. What I didn't have time for was the physical part, to know who really needed to be where, and that worked itself out. But now that's different now because I know the kids, so that physical part, I know where they can be. So we chose not to have spring to get the extra week in the fall. But the other reason is, perfect example of us not having spring is Jordan. I mean, he plays 4 sports. And then I'm going to ask him to come out there and go through 2 weeks in May of spring practice. And he's not, we got a lot of kids like that. Most all our skill guys are 3-sport guys. And that's hard on us at our classification. And you know, but I look at other schools I've been at, 5A schools, and the same deal with your skill guys, man, they play everything. So, you know, we just made the decision, and we kind of liked having the time, and now especially that we know who can play where, that doesn't factor in anymore. So it was tough. It was tough, but, you know, regardless of 10 days in the spring hitting, we would have figured out a few more kids and found out a little bit more. But my big thing, we won that first game, then we had to play Catholic, and then played Pike County, and we played horrible. And we were playing guys we had some kids that quarantined and some guys hurt. And, you know, we were playing guys that hadn't played since Pee Wee football out there. Didn't even know where to line up. And, you know, we felt like had we played Pike County later on, it'd been a different story when we got everything worked out. And so we're hoping we're going to be ready when we play them this time. But after those 3 games, we kind of simplified it, got it figured out, and it was fine. So, but now I'm telling you, we're fired up, and these guys, they're ready to play. They're ready to get after somebody. And, you know, we only had 3 seniors. And, you know, so we got a lot coming back. We won 2 ball games last year. We beat Childersburg, and we beat Reeltown, and we didn't even have a senior with us because they were quarantined. You know, so I feel better about the seniors that we got and the juniors coming back that played compared to an old story. I remember being a kid one time, and I heard Coach Lockridge say on the radio, I think he had 12 returning starters. And they asked Coach Lockridge on the radio, they said, well, Coach, you ought to be real excited. You got 12 returning starters. And that voice of his, I don't know why I should be excited about that. Them same 12 that went 2-8 last year. So, you know, you can't, it ain't always good that you got a bunch of kids coming back, but it's good for us because we got the kids coming back that help us got it rolling along last year. So we are excited.
Hey, Coach, you keep it pretty simple on offense. You didn't put in the spread or anything, in the offseason, did you?
We did not, but, I have to tell D-Mark, we will be able to get in the shotgun only if, 2-minute offense, and I told the coaches, I said, you put this in and you handle it because I ain't fooling with it. And he said, what all can I do? I said, you got 2 plays. I said, so you better figure out 2 plays you can do in 2-minute offense. We get in the shotgun. I said, and if we ain't got a center that can snap it, we ain't getting them 2 plays. So anyway, you know what we're going to do on offense. And, I've had people over the years, they'll come up and they'll say, well, I know why you do it because everybody else is in the spread and they don't see it and this and that. And young coaches don't know how to line up to the 2 tight ends. And I said, well, I'll take credit if that's what y'all really think. But the real reason is I'm not really smart. And I'm doing exactly what, and you can ask D-Mark out there, if you go look at film from 1980-something when I played for Steve White, we're running the exact same thing. So I coach what I know, and I know what I coach, and I don't know a lot of other stuff. Now, I can tell you when we run off tackle, who makes the tackle. I can tell you right then who didn't block and why they didn't do it. But I'm not doing it for some smart reason against it. I'm doing it because it's all I know, and it's always seemed to work. And it's still football. But what I'll tell you is our kids like it. They like it. They like getting after it. And everywhere I've ever been, they like it. Even your spread quarterbacks, I'll be honest, when Lane Smith, our quarterback, who had been a starter for 2 years in spread, but when he really started understanding what we were doing and he realized how much easier it was and simpler, and it took a lot of the decision-making off of him, and it's easy. Throw it to the cat that's open. You ain't got to make all these reads. Throw it to the guy that's open. But when he bought in, I'll be honest, that's when our football team really became better, when he started making more plays at quarterback and understanding this is a quarterback-friendly offense. It's quarterback-friendly. Linemen like it because this cat right here, Colin ain't having to zone block and step back he's getting to get his hand down the dirt and fire off and knock somebody off the ball, and that's what they like doing. And so anyway, offensively, that's really why we do what we do, but our kids have bought into it.
Question for Colin and Jordan so you guys can take turns. You guys had such a great season last year, made it back to the playoffs. Just how does that motivate you going into this year to go back and maybe do even more?
It motivates us pretty well. We're just going to continue to do what we do, take it 1 week at a time, and hopefully we'll have a better outcome than last year also.
It just makes it more fun with it. You went to the playoffs 1 year, haven't gone in I don't know how many years. It's first time in the playoffs, and we're just going to do what we did last year and take it 1 game at a time.
I'm going to keep both you guys back up there. What does it mean to play for a coach that loves you and has your back? I want to get you to tell me that.
It's just more of a better feeling knowing you had a coach that's behind you. It makes you want to play harder.
It means a lot. It does. His support behind us, it just follows us to be a better team as one.
I'm going to interject in that too. I want you to know, when I got to Dadeville, my coaches, I'm telling you, I inherited a great group of coaches, and I can't say enough about them. I don't have to, there's a lot of things that I've gotten to the point I don't have to deal with. I kind of tell them I want this done, that done. And my guys that coach, every one of them, I just can't say enough. look, I got Coach Taylor. He's the one hauling these kids all summer to camp. I mean, he takes them everywhere, every weekend. You know, I got Coach Foster, my defense coordinator. He's been there for years, played there, coached there, basketball coach. I mean, he is there. You know, I got Coach Padgett, played there. You know, he's been there a while, young guy. He's doing everything he can do. You know, Coach Sharp, my offensive line coach, he's been there a while. All these guys, I got Coach Marcel Burns, played there and at Alex City some. And he's there, always with, I'll see the stuff on the video, and they'll all be out at Coach Taylor's house. They were out there last week with the big screen TV I gave them, and they got them all out there watching film. So when I tell you it's not just me, I promise you I have a great group of coaches, and they spend as much time with them, if not more, than me with those guys, and I could not do it, and we wouldn't have a chance to be successful without them. And they are great, and they'll tell you, they'll say, Coach, you tell us what to coach in the drills. We all played high school football. Tell us what to do, but, you know, we're not the X and O's guys, and that's what we did. I said, here's what I need you to teach them. But the big thing is make them mean, make them tough, and let them know you care about them. And I'm telling you, I got great coaches that have done that. And it ain't nothing fancy. I mean, it ain't nothing fancy. They just, man, they're always on top of them. They know what everybody's doing all the time. And kids know when people are checking up on them. And that means as much to them kids, even when you're getting on them for doing something they ain't supposed to, they know you're checking up and you're staying on top of them.
Coach McDonald, we appreciate you and your players being here today. Good luck in the coming season.
Thank y'all very much for having us.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
What's your favorite high school sports memory? A late inning rally? A game-winning shot? A photo finish? Maybe it's a pep rally or a pregame ritual. Maybe it's the euphoria of a late-night bus ride home after a hard-fought win. Maybe it's having pizza with teammates after the game. Now, imagine if it never happened at all. School sports need your help. With budgets getting tighter, it's more than the games that are on the line. It's all the traditions, the community pride, the culture of your hometown high school. Plus, all those memories that are on the line, too. What can you do? It's simple. Buy a ticket when you can. Go to a game. Take the whole family. Let's do everything we can to keep those cherished school sports memories alive.
This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Uneven floors got you rolling? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Welcome back to Fox Sports 910, 1310 a.m. The Games High School Football Media Days. It is our 4th annual High School Football Media Days. I want to thank all the many schools that have been out today. Of course, I want to thank Dadeville for being with us. And coming up right after the Oaks, we'll have Opelika High School to close out our media days here for 2021, and that will be our 20th school. So we want to welcome our 19th school to hit the stage here at our media days today. This is a rather new school to the Auburn and Opelika area. They're called the Oaks. They were founded in 2018, and they have had a sort of playing with a football team here and there, and this year they just recently hired a new coach, Matthew Kelly. I know a couple weeks ago, or actually 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were talking to the Oaks, and I know the football season was kind of up in the air, and Coach Kelly called last week and said, we are on. We are putting together a schedule now, so there's a lot of excitement with the Oaks program. So let's welcome up Coach Matthew Kelly and the Oaks.
Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good day. Basically, like Van said, a couple weeks ago we wasn't playing. Then I got hired, and Josh, the headmaster, asked me, "Hey, do you think we can play football?" I told him, "Yes, sir." So, like I said, we are fairly new. We've played one varsity season, which was in 2019. We went 3-6 that year. I actually coached against the school then. I was the offense coordinator at Southern Prep at that time. Last year we were hit pretty hard by COVID, so we did not play. And this year we're revamping. So we're going to be the road warriors basically this year. We play 8 on the road, 1 at home. That's going to be our homecoming. Kind of coming in late. We're in the gaps. So they told us, hey, you're going to have to play on the road. And they asked us, were we up for the challenge? I told them I hadn't seen a challenge I don't like so far in sports. So we're prepared for it. We're going to be kind of young. Actually, only going to probably have 1 senior. Everybody else is going to be junior to freshman. So we'll be kind of young. It's going to be a little learning curve, but I think we'll be prepared for it. We definitely have some athletes, definitely an athletic team, just going to rely a little bit more on athleticism and our IQ to be successful this year and lay a foundation for years to come. We're also going to have our middle school going, so it's going to be. I'm glad these guys took me in, and they're ready to learn, and it's going to be a learning experience with us all together. It's going to be a lot of growing pains, but we're prepared for that, and we're prepared to have an exciting 2021 and kind of make some noise and just let everybody know that we're here for the long run. We do play 8-man this year due to gaps in the numbers that we have, which is a little odd. People always ask us about 8-man, and I told them, I said, imagine playing arena ball on the field. That's what it is. It's high speed, but to me, football is football. And I tell the boys all the time, hey, just play football. All the rules still apply, still nothing special, anything about that. We're just taking 3 people out the way. Hopefully this is our foundation to build. In a couple of years, we'll move into the 11-man side of things as our school keeps building and getting stronger. And we're just excited, man. We just as giddy as could be about playing ball. I think I have some middle schoolers I'm trying to calm down because they think they're ready for varsity, but they're not. But I'm just trying to get them to get in there. We've been doing weightlifting right now and just a few little mini camps here and there where we be able to get in. But hopefully on August 13th, we start with our fall jamboree against Holy Grounds out of Atlanta, and we should be ready. Then on August 20th, that's going to be our first real game situation since 2019, where we take on Evangel Christian out of Montgomery, and we'll be ready to roll after that.
Hey, Matthew, Jordan Hill with Opelika Auburn News. I mean, you kind of talked about it there, but just tell me how quickly this all has come together as far as you getting here and, getting a football team together, and what's sort of been your message to the guys about joining the team and getting to play this year?
Okay. So I was at Troy doing the baseball all-star event. I got a call from Josh that he wanted to talk to me about the athletic program. I drove up the next day from Troy. We interviewed. That was on June 23rd. And then June 25th, he called me and said, hey, we want to hire you. What would be your thoughts if I asked you to put together football? I said, give me the kids' numbers, give me the parents' numbers, and I'll burn up the lines until we can get there. So it went rather quick. I had to call Gaps and say, hey, we're going to play football. I know this is going to put a wrinkle in stuff. Gaps said, nope, that's fine. The only problem you're going to have is if you mind being on the road. And I took it back to Josh and said, hey, we're going to probably have to play a lot of games on the road to get a schedule. And he said, let me know. And then I went back to Troy the next day to finish the event. And a week later, we had a schedule. And now I was like, okay, now we need players. And Asher he would come around, and I said, hey, so you're going to be the de facto leader. And he would just look at me like, okay. And I said, yeah, you're the de facto leader. And then I met Javion back in May, and he told me that he could take me on the field. So he was my number 2 player right there. So I was like, yep, there's 2. And it's just been getting the guys in, calling them. Some of them been working summer jobs, some been on summer vacations, and they've been at camps. So they've been trickling in and out, but they're coming. They're like, Coach, I'll be there. We start school next week, so we'll be hopefully at full strength Monday. And it's just, it's been a complete whirlwind, but we're getting it done. I've been telling the guys, hey, just in the words of PJ Fleck, just row the boat. We're rowing the boat, and we're just gonna keep chugging along. And I keep telling them, trust me. I'm gonna trust you with this. I said, just trust me. We're gonna push this thing through. I'm not looking for you to be a superstar. I'm not, if we win every game we play this year, great. If we win one game, great. We're starting. I told them we're starting behind the 8 ball. A lot of teams a little bit ahead of us, but I told them to trust in me, to put you in a position to be competitive and be successful. And I'm gonna trust in you to do the right thing, and we're just gonna have fun with it this year.
How's it going, Coach? Jack Patterson with WRBL. Two-part question here. First, what kind of numbers have you been able to put together, obviously, in such a short time? And then secondly, what's kind of been the biggest challenge in, putting together a team in such short notice?
Okay, with the numbers, for varsity, we have 17 right now, which in gaps, by the athletic rules, that's the cutoff for 8-man. If we go one over, we would have to play 11-man. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So we're kind of hard set right there on 17 because we consistently been getting 15 players, so 17's great. With that is, what was the second part? I'm sorry.
What's been the most difficult part about, trying to start a team on such short notice?
Just getting them all there together for summer practice, summer camp. That's been the hardest thing because some of them already had work schedules set. They've been family vacations, stuff like that. Basically, once we got everything there, I got everything up to par where we could do everything. We started workouts almost 2 weeks ago. So that's been the biggest thing. And, summer kids are all over camp, summer jobs, stuff like that. So when they've been here, they've been coming in, but if they're out of town with their parents, they've been going. But starting Monday, we should be at full strength. So that's the good thing. We'll have about 9 practices to get ready for our scrimmage. Then for our first live game, we'll probably get right in about 15 practices. So I'm kind of looking at those first couple of weeks as kind of like spring training. You got those 15 practices before you try to do a live rehearsal. That's great. We're just looking at it like that. We're on a little bit more condensed scale. we'll play the scrimmage. Then we have, like I said, we have Evangel. Then we got an off week. So we'll have an off week. Then we start getting into the meat of our schedule. So we'll get another complete week to really try to work on some things. And we'll have some film to go off of and kind of be able to move people into the right position.
Question for each of the players. Just what's it been like, the excitement of getting to play this year, and how excited you are about what you guys can do this year?
I'm looking forward to it since COVID took away our season last year, and we're really just going to face it head on and do the best we can.
Yeah, like he said, COVID took away our second season, and first season we didn't really win any games, so we're just trying to come out here, have fun, work hard.
This question is for Coach. So I noticed you were talking about that you guys are playing in the gaps this year. You know, was it just easier for you guys to get a schedule there, or was it harder to get a schedule in Alabama? What led to you guys playing in the gaps?
We're actually members of GAPS, so it was easy to get a schedule. We play basketball over there, baseball, bass fishing. we play all our sports. So it was just a matter of just calling up the executive director, Greg Dickens, and he was like, great, because we're right on that line, because right here in Opelika, of course. So we're the furthest over school, but we're also in the area with the schools from LaGrange and Noonan and the south part of Atlanta. So he was like, that's great. That sets us up for next year and be able to kind of map out the region a little bit better. And that was just the total reason. But I think at least 4 of our games this year against Alabama teams. So we're going to play Evangels, Trinity Christian out of Pelham, Alabama. We're going to play Southern Prep out of Camp Hill, and East Central out of Birmingham. So it wasn't too hard to get some. It was just a matter of we had to be a little bit more open with what teams were flexible with. So it's been fun.
Coach, where will you play your home game?
Right now, we're scheduled to play at Moore Stadium, but there's also might be a wrinkle where we might play at the Old Ballard Christian. So, but as of right now, we're going to play at Moore Stadium.
Coach Kelly, we appreciate you and your team coming in here today, and good luck in the coming season.
Thank you so much, and thank y'all for having us.
Let freedom ring all month long at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Declare your independence from your old ride and upgrade to a nicer, newer Ford, Honda, or Nissan. We're giving you up to $3,500 in down payment assistance to get into the new vehicle you want. Interest rates are at historic lows. There's never been a better time to get more for your money. Plus, we've never paid more for your trade. Get a cash offer even if you don't buy from us. We'll pay you $1,000 more than any other written offer. Other dealers may be low on inventory, but at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga, we're stepping on the gas and loading up our lot. Come in today and celebrate the freedom of choice this month only at Sarah Nissan, Sarah Honda, and Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga. Guaranteed credit approval may require money down. See dealer for details.
Let freedom ring.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Ox Foundation Solutions has the expertise and the know-how to repair cracks, wet basements and crawl spaces, and uneven floors in your home. Ox Foundation Solutions will come up with the right fix for you. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
What's your favorite high school sports memory? A late inning rally? A game-winning shot? A photo finish? Maybe it's a pep rally or a pregame ritual. Maybe it's the euphoria of a late-night bus ride home after a hard-fought win. Maybe it's having pizza with teammates after the game. Now, imagine if it never happened at all. School sports need your help. With budgets getting tighter, it's more than the games that are on the line. It's all the traditions, the community pride, the culture of your hometown high school. Plus, all those memories that are on the line, too. What can you do? It's simple. Buy a ticket when you can. Go to a game. Take the whole family. Let's do everything we can to keep those cherished school sports memories alive.
This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Welcome back to Fox Sports 910, 1310 a.m. The Games, high school football media days presented by the Orthopedic Clinic as our final school gets ready to take the stage here. Our 20th school over 2 days. Just unbelievable the amount of interest in high school football here in East Alabama. We're so excited for everything to get underway, and I know all of these schools that have been represented here today are just as excited or more excited probably than we are. And I want to thank the Orthopedic Clinic, John Rich in the house, appreciate their sponsorship. I want to thank Coca-Cola also for providing our drinks here during high school football media days, WOTM TV for providing the great TV coverage, and of course the replays you may be watching now at a later date. They will be up for you, and they've done an extremely exceptional job streaming and also providing the television coverage of our high school football media days. And appreciate all the media that have attended here and that cover all of our great high schools here across East Alabama. Our final school today, Opelika High School, wrapping up our high school media days for the 4th year. And Eric Speakman is the head coach at Opelika High School. He is entering his 4th season at Opelika. And during his 3 years so far at Opelika, just one region loss. He is 16-1 in region games, and they have made the at least the quarterfinals in all 3 of his seasons. And just 2 years ago, made it to the semifinals. Last year, a great season, 9-3. Lost in the 3rd round at Saraland. I know this team is hungry and excited to get back out on the football field, so please welcome our final team for high school football media days, the Opelika Bulldogs and Coach Eric Speakman.
Thank you, Van. It's great to be here. Thank you for putting this on. I know all the coaches that have been up here before me have thanked all of you, and I just want to say thank you from the Opelika family that you present this opportunity to us to promote our kids. Like Van said, we're coming off a 9-3 season. It was really 10-3. We played a team last year, Stanhope Elmore, in a game that was a no-count game, a no contest, but we did win, so we always count those. So 10-3 last year, had a tough loss at Saraland. That was our 6th straight season to go to at least the 3rd round, and then also our 6th straight season after travel to Mobile down to the Gulf Coast. So we know that trip very well. I'm sure at some point this year we'll be back down there to make it 7 years straight. Hopefully we can figure out a way to win and come back from the South with a victory to advance in the playoffs. Since last season, we had a really great all-season coming into this spring. We did spring a little bit different this year. We did not play a spring game. We chose not to play an opponent, and it was probably one of the best things we've ever done at Opelika. We divided up the team into 2 separate teams and played a red-black game to end our spring. Had a lot of fun with that. Kids really enjoyed it, brought our 9th graders up with us during the spring, and so allowed them to play with the older kids to kind of see how things work once they get to the high school. So that was really good for us. Our summer went really smooth. It was nice being back to what everybody calls normal now. It's amazing that you have to go back to something that was normal. But this summer was really good to have everybody back into our 2 groups that we normally work out. We ended that summer program yesterday, so the kids are off for a couple days. Going into this year, we have 35 seniors on the roster. I think we had 34 last year, so another big number for us. That's always good when you can carry a lot of seniors. These guys have a lot of playing experience over the last 4 years with us. Some of us brought Jarrell Stinson today and Taylor Love, who also played as ninth graders on the varsity, so they're going into their fourth season on the varsity with us. We have 104 kids on the roster right now. As of yesterday, they finished up what we call the snake, which if you want to get on social media, you can see what the snake looks like across the stadium. And we end that day with a slip and slide and some watermelon and ice cream for the kids. So always a fun day. So our summer program ended yesterday, and we'll start back up on Monday afternoon. You always know it's getting ready for football when the weather gets really, really hot. June was kind of mild. But now, obviously, we're getting some heat indexes up in the hundreds. So we'll go next week. We'll go in the afternoon once the sun goes down and be a little bit cooler on the kids. Coming into this year, we've hired a few new coaches. Jamel Smith is going to come up from the ninth grade and help coach the secondary. Jamel played at Opelika. That now gives us 7 guys on our varsity staff that all played at Opelika. So it's really good to have those former players come back and help, and it shows these guys, those guys have already played in the jersey, so it means a lot when they say something about Opelika for these guys that are playing now. And then we brought up Tommy Traylor from our ninth grade. He was our ninth grade head coach last year. He's going to come up and coach the S-backs and our kickers. We have a few new ninth grade staff changes. Adam Clayton and William Cahill came over from Tallahassee, so we're excited to have them on our ninth grade staff. We're going to open the year this year like we have the last few years with Callaway out of Georgia. Last year that game got canceled because Georgia was 2 weeks behind us on their rescheduling once they decided to start the season. So we couldn't play them last year. So they obviously won the 2A state championship and have a great team coming back from what we can see from the spring and just looking at their roster from last year. And then we play Auburn week 2, which is always obviously a huge game for us here in this area. Then after that, we'll get into region play, and then we play Central in the middle of the year. So we've got a really tough schedule as always, but all that does is prepare us for what we see in the playoffs. And, we'll always play tough people and try to get our kids ready to play in the postseason using our regular season non-region opponents as that test. So I'll open it up to any questions you might have, and then we can turn it over to the questions for Jarrell and Taylor.
How's it going, Coach? Jack Patterson with WRBL. So you talked a little bit about this, but having a full offseason with your team, being able to do, your normal protocols, how much of an improvement have you seen from this time last year to this time this year?
I think you'll see that in week 1 and week 2 of getting back to how things were. I mentioned something last year after we played Auburn. And we played without a lot of kids due to the quarantine stuff. But also in that game between an Auburn and Opelika team who are always well coached and the kids play really well, there was 12 turnovers between the two teams. So, it was just really sloppy football. And I think a lot of that had to do with no spring and no real summer compared to what we normally do. So I think getting back to having a spring practice, getting back to having a normal summer where we can work on fundamentals instead of just weights and running, I think you'll see that in game 1 and game 2 probably of being a little bit cleaner when we play this year.
Eric, I want to ask about Jarrell and Taylor. How have you seen them balance the work they need to do, in the program with the recruiting and the attention and the camps they've been doing, just how they have handled that and sort of the example that can set for the younger guys in the program?
Yeah, now that recruiting's somewhat getting back to a normal cycle, they've done a great job of being at Opelika when they're supposed to be there. In fact, Jarrell went to Florida State yesterday, so he'll make up his missed practice next Friday. But they've done a great job of letting me know, look, Coach, I got to be at this camp. I got to be on campus at this place. And we're not ever going to turn that's their future. So we always work with them on that, but they also know that they're going to have to make up the work that they missed once they get back. But they've been great about, just the communication part of letting me know. But the good thing about most of that stuff is that happens on the weekends, and so they really don't have to miss much, maybe a Monday.
Hey, Coach, Rex Castillo from WRBL. You can't teach experience, so what's it like having 4-year varsity players on your roster help lead the team this year who know this system inside and out at this point?
Yeah, having these guys, and there's a couple more that have played on the varsity. We always try to bring up a few ninth graders just to kind of help us. Plus, it kind of gives those younger kids growing up, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, the idea that if I work hard, I might get to be one of those kids. And then we always bring up a big chunk of them after the ninth grade season ends. But having Jarrell and Taylor here for their fourth year of, the Friday night action, because you can't simulate that in practice. You can't do that on JV games. But just having them under the lights on Friday in these big games is going to pay huge dividends this summer or this fall for us, just their game experience. I mean, these guys have, played, probably 40 football games in their varsity career so far going into year 4.
Jonathan Hoppy with WTVM. Just a question for the players here. How excited are you guys to get this full, hopefully normal season as your senior season? And then what are the expectations for you guys as a team this year?
I have really high expectations for the team this year. I feel like we can focus this year and get everything together would be really good. We got some younger guys on the team that if we can get them locked in, I think they can make some big plays for us.
Just going off what Jarrell said, we've got very high expectations for the team. I'm pretty sure we can go all the way for real this year, so I'm very excited with what we're going to have. So.
This one's for Jarrell and Coach. Jarrell, what was it like? I know when being at Florida State, you saw the number that popped up on your 40, the 4.3. And Coach, what's it like having that kind of weapon on your roster?
It was good being at Florida State. I mean, the private workout was a good experience for me. Running that kind of time, I haven't ran in a few years, so running that kind of time, it was pretty impressive myself. I didn't know if I had it in me, so seeing I can run that now, I can put it on the field and see what I can do.
Yeah, having a player like Jarrell just makes the life of a coach a whole lot easier. Great coaches make us look great all the time, or great players make us look great all the time. So, having a player like him where, very dynamic, we're going to use him a lot on offense this year, not only playing defense. He's been a primarily defensive player for the last few years, but we're going to use a lot of different kids this year on offense. Basically, our rule is going to be this. If you carried the football in Moore Stadium during rec league, you're going to carry the ball this year for us. So we've got to figure out a way to put up points using a different, variety of players. And, his time yesterday, I think, what was it, 4.37? So 4.37, basically demarks GPA from high school. So, that's a great time and great for, we got a few kids with almost that as a GPA this year. But Jarrell, great academic student and also a great football player as well as Taylor. So having both of them is going to be really big for us this year.
This question can be for everybody. So you open your season with the defending 2A state champion Callaway Cavaliers. When you schedule such a high-profile game right off the back, how much motivation does that give you to get ready for the season? When even on top of you're already hyped for the start of the season anyway.
Yeah, just from a coaching side of things, we play now week 3 of our August camp, so. Things have kind of sped up on the calendar probably over the last 5 years. It's now called week 0, or however they came up with that. But week 1, week 0, however you want to label it. So we practice for 2 weeks and then you play. So you're already in game week. So as a coach, it helps you prepare because you don't have that third week where things just drag out and you're practicing against each other again. It's 112 degrees. It's already game week. So you get 2 weeks to prepare and then you're already in season mode. And just the kids, the excitement, you go for 2 weeks of being excited about football and school starting, and now week 3 is now football season, game week is actually starting. Jarrell.
I feel like having Callaway as our first game, a high-profile game, would be very good for us so we can kind of fix some of the flaws we have from that game going into region play. So I feel like that would be good for us.
I feel like it can be good for us. See, like what Jarrell just said, fix the mistakes, early mistakes, so we won't have it down in the season. I also feel like if we get on the playbook, study the playbook more, we'll be pretty good this year, so it'll be a good game.
Taylor, question for you still. Talk about your role on offense now. You started running the ball a lot more. I know in the spring game and the scrimmage game you had a touchdown run. Just talk about, I know you've been playing defense for a long time. Talk about offense and how much you like that.
Offense is very fun. So I used to run the ball in Red League, and it just bring back old memories how I used to run the ball. So I'm pretty used to it. So.
Taylor, if you want to stay up there, but I'm going to ask both of you guys just what the recruiting process has been like, and then for you, Jarrell, when you go up there, has Jalen been, somebody you could talk to because he's been through it? Was that helpful at all?
The recruiting process has been very exciting, and it's new to me, so I ain't never experienced it before. So it's very exciting just to go out there to visit the campus, talk to the coaches, let the coaches talk to my family, to pick the right spot for me in the future. So it's been very exciting.
Having an older brother like Jalen has been very helpful for me because, anytime I need a question about what I should do, what I should post, what I should say, I go to ask him. So really anything I have a question, I'm FaceTiming him every day pretty much, having questions. Like yesterday, I FaceTime to see what kind of drills I need to post and what kind to send. So it's been very helpful.
Drill, I'm glad you asked your brother and not your dad. But anyway, Coach, I want to come back to you. You left out PE on my grade point at GPA, by the way. But talk a little bit about quarterbacks. I know you said on the mark that you've got 4 playing, and you may have decided on one now, but if you elaborate that for us.
Yeah, right now we've got 4 kids fighting it out. Jackson Bates, JT McCardle are both seniors. Bryce Speakman is a junior, and then Roman Gagliano is a sophomore. And they've all done a great job this summer competing. Right now, if we had to play tomorrow, we would play all 4 of them in the game just to kind of see how things sort out. Because I mentioned earlier, you can't simulate, playing Callaway and playing Auburn on a Friday night. You can't do that in practice. And so last year we did the same thing in the Stanhope game. We played 3 of them, and one of them stepped forward and took the job. And there wasn't any question after that game as to who it was. So right now we would probably go in with all 4. Obviously the biggest question marks on any team, the most important positions, not always the best players, but most important, are your offensive line and your quarterback. And right now that's our biggest question marks. We replaced 7 seniors that played on the O-line last year. We got some good kids coming back. They just don't have a whole lot of experience, and we really don't know which, 5 pieces we need to put in each spot during on the O-line and then obviously quarterback. But, going back to y'all asking Taylor about running the ball, just look at him. If, our rule last year was, would anybody want to tackle him with the ball? And the answer was no, so let's give him the ball more. And you'll see it this fall when he's running behind, hopefully a good piece together offensive line.
Coach, you mentioned the offensive line. I know you've got an incoming 9th grader that's already holding a Georgia offer. That's pretty big, and he's a big boy. Talk about him.
Yeah, Malik Autry is an upcoming 9th grader that is 6'6", 250. I remember a few years ago I went to Northside to check my daughter out. She's in the same grade, and Malik was actually walking in front of me, and I thought it was somebody's dad walking into the office. Even in 5th grade, he was already bigger than everybody. But, we expect a lot out of him. We're not going to rush him, just to make sure he holds up to the bargain of getting an offer from Georgia. I don't know what an offer in 9th grade really means in today's world. I guess it means we're going to watch you for 4 years, and if you're good enough, in 4 years we'll sign you. But, he definitely has the frame that those college coaches like. Hopefully he'll hold up. He works really hard. That's the good thing about him. He gets out there, and he didn't shy away from anything in the spring when we put him out there. So I'm sure you'll see him some this fall. I don't know how quick it'll be in a game, but you'll definitely see him on the field some.
Question for the whole team, Coach and players. You guys have, used some pretty deep runs in the season, as they mentioned, losing only 1 region game. But how hungry are you guys now to get over the hump and play for a state championship?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, I think it's been 6 straight years we've been to the 3rd round, at least the 3rd round. Then, a couple of those years we made it to the 4th round. Then a couple of years we made it we played for the 2 games in 2012 and 2016 at Auburn. So I think every year these guys just know every year we've got a chance to make a good run at it. And is it going to be what our motto was 2 years ago? The little things matter. Same thing applies to this year. Even though that's not going to be our motto, it still holds true. And are we going to do little things to make sure that when we do have to go to the Gulf Coast this fall, at some point, the bracket's going to line that way. There's no way after 6 straight years of doing it that we can't get somebody up here. But, are we going to do all of those little things to go where we can beat a good Saraland team, a good Spanish Fort? Blunt should be good this year. Somebody from the north, Hillcrest, Hueytown, any of those teams that are, traditional powers from the Birmingham area. So these guys, they've worked hard all summer, but right now, our main goal is to start off really good against Callaway, fix the mistakes after that game, and play a really good Auburn team. And then after that, we get into region play where you kind of set the tone for your real season, which is to get in the playoffs. Jarrell.
I feel like that this year winning would be the main priority. I mean, last year, a few games we were missing a bunch of players. So this year, we'll have everybody back, and I feel like we have a good chance at winning a lot of games this year.
The hunger is still there, but we taking it step by step. So we ain't just, rushing into different games. We taking it game by game. So hard work, we just working. So.
Any other questions? Coach Spigman, players of Opelika High School Bulldogs, thank you for being here today, and good luck in the coming season.
Thank you, Eddie.
One high school media days, Jeff, at the event center here, presented by the Orthopedic Clinic on iHeartRadio, Fox Sports. The game A++. How about that? Coach Speaker wrapped it up. We started with yesterday. Our first school was Jason Allen with Chambers down in Lafayette, and over in Lafayette we end right here at home with Coach Speakman, who had two players in the house with him, but another successful media days.
Exactly. It was a good one this year, just like it's been in the past, Mark. I'm looking forward to the fall season starting up in the 19th. Of course, we have our coaches show on the 18th.
18th, first coaches show.
First coaches show.
But it will air on the 19th.
Air on the 19th. But we'll have some games on the 19th and 20th, right?
That's exactly right. We have the Kickoff Classic on the 19th and 20th, and of course, a lot of schools open up that week. Some will play a preseason type game the week before, but that will be the first week that most of our schools open up right there on the 19th. Some will open up on the 18th, but we'll be back. High school coaches show will be on Wednesday night, but we'll air it every Thursday night. All right. 97.7 Kicker FM and Fox Sports, the game 910, 1310. You can hear Jeff and I every morning on the mark on Fox Sports, the game 910, 1310, 6 to 9 Central Time, 7 to 10 Eastern. We talk local sports. We're interview kind of based with local coaches calling in every day. We have local guests in the studio. Excuse me, we do get a little bit of national coverage. We have Coach Gene Stallings on Thursday. We have coaches that call us. Of course, Jeff Graves will be in the house tomorrow. Auburn University Gymnastics
All right, Coach Graves.
Yeah, so good to have him. But if you're interested in local sports, whether it's here in East Alabama or over in West Georgia, you can tune in to 1310 AM, 910 AM, which is Fox Sports, the game. Man, we got a lot of people to thank, Jeff. I want to thank all our media that were here. They were here from Montgomery to Columbus, all in between, all the way around. To cover our event and these schools that are here mainly. We appreciate that. You could get 21 schools here. We had some new schools, Southern Prep and the Oaks. It was nice to see them. And, of course, Benjamin Russell back for a second time. Coach Roger McDonald with Dave, one of our regular crew that we always cover here in East Alabama. So a great event, 2 days. I love it. It doesn't even feel like we've been here that long, really, Jeff. You know, you get to listen to these coaches and these kids. But I want to thank the Orthopedic Clinic. What would we do without the title sponsor? I appreciate Terry and the fine doctor. John's here in the house, John Ridge. They are so supporters of the high school athletics.
Long-time supporters of them.
No doubt. They were on the sidelines when you played.
Yes,
I started
they were.
broadcasting when I was 15. So they've been, Dr. Watley was there on Opelika sideline, and Dr. Wilson's there now. Of course, they have a lot of schools they cover, but most importantly, they are open to the community for any kind of orthopedic needs, and you can go by there and see them, the good folks at the Orthopedic Clinic. We want to thank the event center, the bottling plant here, Lisa Dishcock's the owner. We appreciate her and her opening up this spacious place for us to have this media days, our second one here, our fourth overall. Matthew's here running the board. Man, it's great to see Matthew.
It is good to see Matthew.
Yeah, Matthew's been through some health issues. I'm glad he's doing better. We'll be praying for him, of course, Van and Eddie Owen helping out. And you, big boy, I appreciate you being here.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it. You know, I always come, but I don't hang out the whole time.
But you did today.
I
You
did
these two.
today.
Hey, we got Coca-Cola provided our drinks. Jeff Coat Tramp Funeral Home and Frederick Dean Funeral Home were great sponsors. And, of course, we appreciate everybody that made this possible. I believe that'll wrap it up, big man.
It will.
You got anything else?
No, just had a great time. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, and the Braves won last night, right?
The Braves won.
Yeah.
It's all starting to come together.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Blake Smalley, the new head coach at Opelika for girls basketball coach. Great guy.
he'll do a great job. He's leaving Hanley High School boys coach to take over as the girls coach at Opelika. Blake's an incredible young man. He started here his coaching years as an assistant with Coach Wadsworth, moved to the middle school, then went to Hanley, and he's back. I know he'll do a good job. I think you'll hear Leb Holly will be resigning from Blunt to be officially approved as the Mobile County assistant.
Does that mean the quarterback that transferred to Blunt may
I don't know, Jeff.
change his mind and go back to
I
McGill?
don't know. I think you'll see
because the transfer portal down in South Alabama has opened up.
Yeah, there was a little transfer there. I think you're going to see another coach named here soon that I think they already know who it is down there. I think he's from Williamson High School, but not real sure about that. But anyway, some movement in Mobile that you'll hear about from Blunt High School and a new assistant athletic director for Mobile County.
All right.
So there you go. And then I think that's going to do it. All right. So thank you for tuning in. On the Mark tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock. Thank you, WOTM. High School Media Days here on iHeartRadio. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you next time.